Good evening to everyone. We are live here. We are going to be recording our podcast episode, but we said, you know what? While we're recording our latest group chat podcast episode, why don't we just go live and bring it to a live studio audience? We're live on where?
We're on
TikTok?
Facebook on One More Round. We are on YouTube at One More Round, and we are on TikTok. What's my TikTok name?
DTB7373.
It's freaking innovative name right there.
We are like maybe it would be easier for a bunch of chalks like us to list where we're not live next time for everybody who's trying to listen. We got all sorts of stuff that we'll be talking about today. We're going to be monitoring all of y'all's questions in the chat. Golly, I just sounded like a Yankee saying all y'all's questions in the chat.
So Casey, we just got that text from our good listener Josh Gravois, also known as Coom. We are live on Facebook. He is about to be so amped up. Like I'm about to text him.
YouTube's what he wants.
YouTube. I'm sorry. He's about to be so amped up.
Yeah, he's been wanting the YouTubes for quite some time now, and we're here to deliver it to you, pal. So looking forward to that. We got our world famous Mott's mailbag. That'll be coming up a little bit later on. We got some good questions. We will be leading off today on the group chat podcast. And by the way, I am Casey. This is Nick Gaybear, and this is Damian St. Pierre. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day and a wonderful evening. We're going to lead off talking about the NFL draft. It was an interesting NFL draft. We'll start with the New Orleans Saints. We were live during the first round of the NFL draft when the Saints got their big lineman from Texas and, made some things happen there. And then we were all wondering, the last time we were on the air, we were all wondering, like, well, what the hell is going to happen to Shedeur Sanders? We were thinking, and I think we all even kind of agreed at the time, like, okay, he's going to go early in the second round, maybe even the first pick of the second round. Cleveland had the 33rd pick. Well, he goes to Cleveland, but not with the 33rd pick. He goes to Cleveland in the 5th round. New Orleans does. They got a quarterback at number 40. They get Shuck from Louisville. How the hell you get Shough and get Shuck? I don't know. Y'all ready for my cheesy dad joke of the day?
Sure.
Saints fans love to add an S at the end. Shucks is a great explanation for what I think Saints fans should be feeling here. How do y'all think?
That's bad.
Yeah, it is real bad. But
it's a built-in excuse so when he screws up.
Right. Shucks. What do y'all think? The Saints go get the 50-year-old from Louisville. He played 7 years of college football. The ceiling of his college football career was a 23-touchdown season and an honorable mention all-conference season. He's going to be 26 by the time the next NFL season starts. I don't see any way where this dude's a great NFL player. I think he'd be maybe all right. But in terms of like franchise-changing quarterback, I don't see it. Tell me I'm wrong.
You got a lot of passion tonight about that, Casey. I
I don't think it's a good pick.
I can tell you that it was outside of the Shedeur memes, he had the best one because
his Uncle Rico stuff is good.
One of the memes that came out about, I'm going to just call him Shuff because we can now about it. So one of the best memes of the weekend about Shuff was that the Saints forgot that they were picking and it auto drafted him.
Yep.
And that was probably the type of selection that old Shuff was on.
So let me ask you guys this. Where are some of the schools where when you play college football as a quarterback, you're automatically going to get stats? What are some of the schools?
Texas Tech back in the day.
Okay.
You got Hal Mumme.
Hawaii back in the day.
Hawaii back in the day. You would say Oregon too.
Washington State.
Well,
Mike Leach.
Shuck played for Oregon and Texas Tech. You know what he didn't do at either one?
Start.
Put up stats, start, stay healthy, all that stuff.
I can't believe y'all talking so bad about my man Tyler Shuck.
You're a big Shuck guy?
Big Shuck guy. I just read some.
Can we rename him the Oyster Shucker?
Hey, whatever works. Sell merchandise. This guy, well, first of all, I just seeked out positive stuff about this guy.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Biggest, fastest, strongest, best arm in the draft.
According to who?
Some dude on TikTok. Some guy on TikTok. I don't remember his name, but I'm all in. I believe him. I'm sold.
You're all in.
This is gonna be our starting quarterback this year.
Well, I don't doubt that, but we got a couple people in this room who would maybe be the starting quarterback in New Orleans this coming year. All right.
The chat is starting already, and I don't know. So look, we're going to cut all this out of the actual podcast, but we can still chat about it because it's going to be a fun night. Nick Pierce said, "Strengthen up that wave, bro."
What?
Your little wave was a little off.
I did her on this side. And I'm looking at the TikTok camera. I was out. So
Nick's a big TikTok guy.
Are you being serious right now? Like you really think?
half
Okay,
serious.
so but look, I don't think he's gonna be awful.
If he sucks, awesome. If he's great, awesome. Like it's a no lose. Like we drafted a tackle with our first pick. Great. It's not going to be a game changer, but it could help us down the line. We drafted a quarterback who could be the worst player drafted in the whole draft. That's not going to help us. If he's awesome, great.
Yeah,
We won't need Arch Manning. He can stay his ass at Texas next
Well,
year.
it was
well, that's
fifth,
what's gonna happen anyway.
fifth
but-
round selection, correct?
No, Shuck was a second
Shuck's
round,
number
40
40
Oh, it's
overall.
even worse. I was about. How did I not know that? First off, because I didn't watch anything past the first round.
Who we got?
But that just kind of leads into what I was about to say and goes against, I guess, what I was about to say. But the second round, man, that's not a throwaway pick on someone that you just kind of stashing and probably not.
Tell
think
me
he's
you
gonna
tanking
start?
without telling me you tanking.
You think he's going to start?
Yes, I do.
I think he's gonna start.
Wow.
I don't think
Like
Derek
day
Carr's
one?
gonna play. Yeah, I don't think
They
Derek Carr's
say-
gonna play.
They say he's the most NFL ready quarterback on our roster. I mean, that's kind of
That's not saying much.
we have two guys who have played before, so that's not saying much for them. Three guys
Jesus.
and a tight end that plays quarterback every once in a while.
I'm going to ask y'all about the Saints draft as a whole because I don't think it was all bad. But before we get to that, after the draft, we saw Derek Carr in the weirdest interview / church sermon that we have ever seen before at a Las Vegas church. He was hired to be the pastor for a day, which is really weird. And then, like, it was like watching a freaking Brother Love segment. Like, I love you. And he's talking about his shoulder injury and saying that he is really hurt and he's got the MRIs to prove it. And he's dissing ESPN and he's saying that he's good with the Saints. I don't believe a word that's coming out of that dude's mouth. Is Derek Carr in good standing with New Orleans? Because I think he tried all the way through the draft process to screw them out of getting a quarterback. Then, like, he doesn't hold a news conference with the team. He has one at like a Baptist church in Las Vegas. Like, this dude is just weird, man.
I mean, he wears eyeliner. He wears makeup. There's nothing that he's gonna do or nothing that he's gonna say post makeup that's gonna make me change my opinion of him, which is not being very good from day one. I can't wait for when he runs on the field, even if he's not starting or even if he's not playing, if he's just getting out there to warm up, that crowd is gonna boo the ever living hell out of that.
It's gonna be
Normally,
beautiful.
normally I root for the heels, but this dude has become the number one heel in New Orleans, and I'm not rooting for this guy.
So is this a situation where hey, who's ready to see Derek Carr? No, how about we see
10
a
more
little more
minutes.
Shuck? You guys don't get that joke. Nick and I get that joke.
Casey, we have some really good listeners. So this newfangled program that we're rolling with, we're live on multiple streams, multiple social media sites. So you can you could see chats coming in from different areas. So we got our first ever YouTube live comment was a diss on Tommy, which is fantastic.
that's incredible.
He said Josh Gravo is currently in an Uber on his way back from Floribama. And Tommy's not here tonight to defend anything, which is even better.
Which is what makes it better. He's coaching some baseball. We all have experience coaching softball before. How many balls in a row was that, Bruce?
I think that was like 9 straight. I'm gonna go frontwards hat since everybody else is.
So I only went backwards because the brim was like I couldn't see my eyes, and yeah, and I'm wearing a freaking Baby Cakes hat, which I'm sure people would be trolling me for. So,
Whatever happened to the baby cakes?
they moved. The whole thing moved away from New Orleans. They're in like Kansas City or
So
something.
we rebrand
To a rugby team.
and then
yeah,
move.
we're NOLA Gold now.
Yeah.
Rugby.
Was it 1 year?
It was,
Yeah.
I believe, 1 year. And look, it didn't have nothing to do with like the team changing its name or nothing. That was why they left. The Mets, I think, are the team that has them, and they were just like, yeah, we don't want to be in New Orleans.
I miss
Fair
Zephyrs.
enough.
I miss Zephyrs.
I didn't want to be in
games.
New Orleans either.
Those Zephyrs games are awesome.
Going to Zephyrs games, the left field line, and trolling the bleep out of the bullpen.
The home team.
The home team. I would do a away team, but y'all would do the home team. Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Saints draft as a whole. They get Kelvin Banks with the 9th pick, Shuck with the 2nd round pick, 40. Vernon Broughton, a defensive tackle from Texas. Jonas Sanker, a safety from Virginia. Danny Stutzman, a linebacker from Oklahoma. Quincy Riley, a cornerback from Louisville. Devin Neal, a running back from Kansas. Maliki Mataveo, a tight end from UCLA. And Fidel Diggs, an edge rusher from Syracuse. Mel Kiper grades it a B-. That was one of the worst grades that he handed out during the draft. He said New Orleans reached too often. He said New Orleans' best pick was Danny Stutzman, a 4th-round pick from Oklahoma. He actually was a good football player at Oklahoma. But as a whole, he said Mickey Loomis and his staff just didn't seem to have a plan or an identity. Imagine that, right?
Oh, no shit.
Didn't seem to have an identity in the draft and reached a lot. As a whole, how did you think New Orleans did, boys?
I'm not one to judge draft picks until a couple years down the line. Like Mel Kiper, his rant about how the NFL can't judge quarterbacks, that he's so dumb. It's like this guy picked Josh Rosen as a consent, like his number 2 a couple years ago. He had
Brady Quinn.
Who's the other quarterback that was right after Josh Rosen?
Oh God, there was some bad ones that
Like
year.
one year he had I think 3 or 4 top 10 quarterbacks and they all stunk. Like who is he to tell people that they can't rate quarterbacks? This guy sucks.
I would imagine his top 10 quarterback ranking had 10, but just say.
But if the quarterback's not good, is the team's fault. If the quarterback's good and doesn't get picked overall, is the team's fault. This guy like swings and misses all the time, and he never takes credit for his misses.
And that's why people like Todd McShay are taking that realm from him, because he's an old man, get off my lawn type of guy now who berated teams for not taking Shedeur Sanders just because he had him ranked highly. Kiper's not in those interview rooms to see what's going on and to hear what's going on. He was very disappointing throughout the little bit that I watched, and I watched some social media rants.
He looks terrible.
Yeah, we hit him.
He looks terrible.
He kind of looks like Gargamel from the Smurfs.
He does.
So 2018 NFL draft, Baker Mayfield first overall. Tommy, he's terrible. I'm kidding. Baker's next.
He's terrible.
Sam Darnold, 3rd overall. He is actually terrible, even though he had a good season last year. Josh Allen, 7. That worked out. I remember him not being high on Josh Allen, though, so he whiffed there. Rosen, 10th to the Cardinals, not even in the league anymore. Lamar Jackson fell in that draft all the way to the last pick of the 1st round with the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, I think that's working out pretty well.
It was Darnold I was thinking of. That was 3rd.
Old Darnold. Y'all remember Darius Geis? He was the 59th pick in that
Whatever
draft.
happened to that guy?
He raped somebody and then
he's
got
in jail.
kicked out of the
Didn't he get hurt
Well,
first game of the season?
The thing that sucks for Darius, he did get hurt, but he got accused of rape and got kind of put out of the NFL. But then all the charges got dropped. But then it was like, well, you've been out of the league for 2.5 years and you weren't all that good even when you played. So like you're just done.
Is it the Redskins?
He was he was
Hey,
with
watch it. The
Sorry.
football team.
No, they were the Redskins at that time. Damn it.
They were.
Let it be known, I am 1/16th Indian. I'm completely fine with the Redskins name. I'm completely fine with the Braves. I support the Braves.
I'm the darkest dude here.
You're like you really have a little bit of Indian blood for real?
1/8. No, 1/8. 1/8.
2 1/8 on the pin.
Yeah.
Valentine. Let's talk about Shedeur Sanders. He goes to the 5th round to the Cleveland Browns, who I really don't think wanted to take another quarterback, but it got to the point where like they're just saying like it's the 5th round and this dude's still here. Like we're gonna just roll the dice. But then in 3rd round they took Dylan Gabriel of Oregon. Then they traded up into the 5th round and got Shedeur. First and foremost, I think it's really crappy that dude prank called Shedeur and pretended to be Mickey Loomis.
Yes.
I think that's a crappy thing. More about that later. We got a question about that in our mailbag. Is there a world where Shedeur Sanders, like, I don't know, screws around and like starts next year for Cleveland? Because look, Watson is hurt. They got Joe Flacco, who's 100. They got Dylan Gabriel, who's terrible. They like Shedeur might end up being a freaking starter here.
And beat out Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett, who they already said they're not extending for a 5th year. So like,
I really like the Browns post-draft press conference. I thought they spoke tremendously well. Not a lot of organizations, I guess, really do that. And I don't remember who the gentleman was. It was the GM and the coach. I thought they did a really good job of saying what they did, why they did it. I know they got a lot of Flacco about their response in the draft.
But my joke was bad.
In their response when Shedeur got picked, like they weren't excited enough. Like, give me a break, bro. But I don't think they're putting high expectations on him at all. And he may start. But then the first thing you read is that his dad wants to be involved in the first meeting. How true is that? I don't know. But you got to be kidding me, man. Like, that's why people whiffed on your son. They didn't want him. They didn't want to deal with you. He's an average talent. That's a statue in the pocket, and you got to deal with a daddy ball daddy.
Like, here's the thing, though, and look, here's what kind of makes me a little optimistic. The dude got sacked 94 times at Colorado, and look, some of it is because he holds on to the ball too long. That's a fact. Some of it is because he didn't have a line. That's also a fact. Last year, he completed 353 of 477 passes. That's 74%. That's really freaking good. For 4,134 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions while getting sacked 42 times. Those are some really good numbers, especially when you don't have a clean pocket, especially when you don't have great talent around you. If you would eliminate the dad situation and all the hoopla, and I get that you can't do that, right? Because it's a huge part of his story. But if you could eliminate just that slime, just the numbers themselves say, there's a world where this dude could be a steal in the 5th round if he could block out all of that noise.
That's a huge if, because I just there's so much hype. That's the way he was raised. And look, I'm sitting here and tell you I was absolutely wrong, and I don't say those words very often. I sat here on Thursday night. I sat on the radio with you on Friday and said that, look, Shadeur's going late first, early second, and then whenever the Browns picked at 33 and they passed on him, I'm like, oh, I guess you gotta live with that comment for a while.
Would you, as the Saints fan perspective, rather Shedeur in the 5th round or Shuck at 40th overall?
I've been saying it as long as we've been doing this. I think he would have been a great fit in New Orleans. He would have. There's zero pressure on him, and he would have created a circus in a place that needs more animals in their circus.
I'm stuck with Shuck.
Nick loves Shuck.
Shirts coming. Stuck with Shuck. No,
Is that a real thing? Like,
no.
no.
But with the Deion Sanders thing, okay, college football, we have a transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
You just said that he didn't have any offensive linemen. He didn't have any running backs.
Mm-hmm.
How? I thought everybody wanted to play for Deion Sanders. How does he not get an offensive line to protect his son, who I feel he was coaching there as a platform to get his son to the NFL?
He's not very good.
Okay, well, how do you not get an offensive line to protect your son? How do you not get a running game to take
Because
a little heat off
all
your
the
son?
attention was on him. He didn't want
Right.
anybody else to be good. I'm surprised he let Travis Hunter be on the team.
But look, this is the same dude who, in the middle of 2 seasons ago, with still 6 games left in the season, said, them dudes blocking for my kid, they're all going to be gone next year. Like, I'm cutting all of them. So then, yeah, the last 6 games of the year, Shedeur got killed. They didn't want to block for him anymore. So, yeah, it wasn't exactly the tautest ship out there in Colorado. They were not running a smooth ship out there.
It's a circus that New Orleans needed.
Yeah, fair enough.
We have a circus, and it's our general manager.
Oh, Mickey. Oh, Mickey.
There's a song for that.
Mickey, you so fine.
Any opportunity I get Casey to sing, I try to take advantage of that.
Carr blames the media, and we'll leave it with this before we shift to the NBA. Carr's blaming the media. Oh, bruh, I am really hurt. Oh, bruh, I am in communication with the team, and the team is not, mad at me. And Mickey Loomis did say Saturday, Derek Carr's our starting quarterback. True? False?
I hope not.
Yes, 100%. Barring injury, I don't know how legitimate his injury is, but barring an injury, he will be the Saints' #1 on opening day.
Oh, I can't wait to see that in the Dome, because y'all can y'all imagine how loud the boos will be that first 3 and out, which will be 3 plays into the game, when Carr is out there.
I may go to the game. The tickets will be cheap.
Yeah, say you're gonna be able to get tickets for $10.
This is when I like the Saints. I love the Saints when I could get cheap tickets. And obviously I liked them on that initial run because that was the first time you got to experience the Super Bowl, and then everybody jumped on the bandwagon and slowly getting off now. The old man scored.
I've never seen a hockey game. I've never seen someone score ever in a hockey game.
We've been to a hockey game, right?
Yeah, we
I don't
were at a
remember
hockey
much
game.
about it, but we
Oh God.
for sure we went to one.
Anyway, if you're watching on our multi-stream live, we are watching the Washington Capitals, and I don't even know who's this other team. Is it Edmonton? No.
Montreal Canadiens.
See.
You think that
Montreal.
before the game, you think that they make everybody stand up and sing the Canadian national anthem?
Absolutely.
You think they're all French Canadians?
Where are they
Fabulous.
playing?
At a pace.
Do the Rougeos play there?
They're playing in Washington.
Ovechkin. 30th career playoff. Ovechkin's old, dude. Look at him. He looks like he's 90. But anyway, that's the first time I've seen somebody score in a hockey game ever.
And why are we watching that when there's playoff games on?
That's a good question.
That's a very good question. We will have to fix that. Let's talk about the NBA playoffs because we do have some NBA playoffs today, and we've got some series that are starting to rev up a little bit. The Los Angeles Lakers are fighting for their season lives tonight. That one will be a little later on over at the crypto.com arena. I don't know why I said that because I've vowed on the radio this week that I wanted to call it the Staples Center forever, but they are going to be taking on Minnesota. In the last game of that series, JJ Redick decided he just wasn't going to coach, and he played the starters the whole way. He played the starters the full 24 minutes of the second half, watched his team kind of gas out, watched Anthony Edwards kind of lap them down the stretch. And Gyro, are you a LeBron guy? All right, so I'm about ready to piss you off. LeBron bitched out in the fourth quarter, didn't score a point. He got tired and just watched Anthony Edwards just dominate the game. I think there's a world where they could come back 3-1 down. I do. But I think there's also a world where tonight Anthony Edwards puts another 40 burger on them and they're done. And you made the Luka Doncic trade to not have this happen. You fleeced the Dallas Mavericks to not have this happen. This would be really embarrassing if they lost in the opening round.
I'm here for it. We talked about it. We called it. We knew what Anthony Edwards had in him. He got that dog in him, bro. At the end of the day, he wants to win. He's not there to muck it up and give everybody hugs and fight with. He may fight with somebody's dad. He's that type of guy that you probably hate to coach against, but you're gonna love him if he's on your team. Type of NBA player. And the Lakers met some young bucks that are ready to go and ready to win now. And JJ Redick, I believe, he threw all his cards on the table by playing those older players that much. He knew they needed that win, and he knows now that he's in for it. And I love to see it.
You got your star player is what, 40? What is he?
40, 41, something like that. Yeah.
Your other star player is pushing 300 pounds. And you trying to get these guys to go the whole game. And you don't have much backup. So what do you think is going to happen in the fourth quarter? They're going to
exactly
die.
what happened. Yeah.
You got on the other side of the court, you have a 22, 23-year-old stud who can go for 80 minutes if you needed him to. There's no way that the Lakers can win with this formula of just tiring out your two horses.
I think it's too late. I think they took the legs of the Lakers, and it's going to be more of the same tonight.
So let me ask this. All year long, the Wolves have been taking crap for trading Karl Anthony Towns for Julius Randle and DiVincenzo. I've been watching the playoffs. Towns has had some moments with the Knicks, but Randle and DiVincenzo are ready to fight. They want to go at you. Randall's in the middle of all the scrums. DiVincenzo's not afraid to make. This is why they made the trade. They didn't lack talent. They knew that they had enough talent. They needed some dogs. They had a lap dog. Anthony Towns is a lap dog. They needed some bulldogs. DiVincenzo and Randle have given them toughness. And I don't know that they'd be winning this series 3-1 if they didn't make the trade, being honest with you.
And look, who do the Lakers have to match up with that?
Nothing.
You got a bunch of prima donnas that are just there to get paid and hopefully ride LeBron to one last ring. And it's why they brought Luka in to give him some even some more help. Again, I'm say it again. You ran into a bunch of young dogs that want to win basketball games, and this was the wrong. And we talked about it in the initial podcast.
Yeah, we said this was a chance.
The wrong matchup for the Los Angeles Lakers.
It's a coming out party for the T-Wolves. That this team is young and hungry, and I love Julius Randle. When he was a Pelican, that was one of my favorite Pelicans we ever had.
Let's talk about now this matchup right in front of us, where Golden State is leading 3-1 against the Houston Rockets. I think they're going to win this series, but one thing that I thought was interesting is after the last game, and Jimmy Butler missed game 3, came back game 4, and he was axed. He played really well in game 4. He was axed because he was going back and forth, pushing and shoving with Dillon Brooks, whatever. And a reporter asked him, like, kind of tongue-in-cheek, like, haha, like, how fun is it to be going back and forth with Dillon Brooks during the playoff game? Jimmy Butler looked into the camera just as I am right now, serious as could be, said, I don't like Dillon Brooks, man. Like it ain't fun. Like, I really can't stand that dude. He had the same issues in Memphis where he would wake up sleeping giants all the time in the middle of series. So my question to you is, why do teams keep putting him out there in these postseason rosters just to piss off the star players of the other teams? Because he's the reason why they lost the last game. He starts pushing Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler starts going off. What is he doing?
like you said, he's waking up the sleeping giants and he's aggravating them. And sometimes that's not the route you want to take to stop a star player. Like in the 90s, you did that to Jordan. Jordan's going for 60. And there's stories, you scroll through your TikTok, you're gonna find them, of people talking trash to Jordan, and Jordan's just taking it easy that night, and then decides to turn it up. I don't know. Jimmy Butler had that. I mean, might be his son, might not be his son, whatever.
Playoff Jimmy, baby.
But I didn't know Jimmy Butler still had that second gear, but he's turning it on.
That's an excellent transition. I was going to share a story that also in one of those post-game press conferences, a reporter asked Jimmy Butler something about playoff Jimmy. And he's like, that does, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not a real thing. And as he talks through his response, he realizes, yeah, there's a playoff Jimmy.
Yeah, there is. Yes, of course there is. That's like you asking Bruce Wayne if there's such thing as a Batman. He's not going to claim that there is, but of course there is. And I'll say this: Sengun's a goat.
I hate Sengun.
How tall is he?
Like
He
6'10" or so.
Yeah, he doesn't look that big.
So
He's goofy.
the Rockets are a team. They're a young team. Oh, Draymond just made a three. It might be a long night for the Rockets. The Rockets are a team that has some young pieces. Yesterday, the Bucks completely pissed down their leg. They were up 7 with 35 seconds left and lost their series to Indiana. There's a lot of people who are saying that Giannis is going to act scout at the end of the season. And I saw Jalen Green, Sengun, and 3 first-round picks for Giannis. Would you take that?
That's a lot. I don't know if I'd take that. That's a lot.
So Giannis is a once-a-decade type of player.
I would, dude. If I'm Houston, I'm doing that. Sengun, Jalen Green, 3 firsts for Giannis.
Anything to get rid of Sengun, I'm here for it.
But you'd still so you'd still have Dylan Brooks, you'd have Van Vliet, you got Amin Thompson, you got the big boy from Auburn still. They got the white boy from Kentucky that don't even play that they drafted last year.
How old is Giannis?
30.
I hate Giannis.
He's good, and he doesn't even talk trash.
Giannis is good, but some of the stuff, and we're gonna get to that now. Like some of the stuff after he's a little bit kind of phony. Like the stuff yesterday, like, oh, bro, y'all stop making fun of me. How about don't blow a 7-point lead in 30 seconds and you ain't got to worry about
Sounds like Duke.
it? He would have played for Duke, wouldn't he? He would have played for Duke. So let's talk about is he going to act out of Milwaukee? You got Doc Rivers there. That's a terrible one.
How does he keep getting a job?
I don't know. He's blown 3-1 leads everywhere.
Where's
Like his son's out the league. Oh, that's a nice shot there from Jalen Green.
I truly believe Giannis has played his last game in Milwaukee. I think he's going. I think the Bucks know that they could get something for him, and I don't think he wants to be there anymore.
So where's the destinations? Houston, New York,
the Knicks,
Brooklyn.
I mean, the Lakers don't have anything to offer. I mean, everybody would say, "Oh, bro, LA and New York." Well, the Clippers don't have anything. The Lakers don't have anything. So you rule out LA.
You're right. The Clippers don't have anything.
No, I mean, like realistically, I'm a Harden guy. You're not going to offer Harden; they would laugh at you. You're not going to offer Kawhi; they're going to laugh at you. And then you don't have role players. The Lakers, what are they going to offer? LeBron? You're gonna trade a 40-year-old for Giannis? No, they're not going to offer Luka. They just got him. So yeah, like he's not going to LA.
I just have a feeling the Lakers have no draft picks either.
Right. The Pelicans once had assets, but you know what happens if you try to make that offer? Giannis starts laughing and says, hey, I ain't going there. Like, no, I'm retiring before I'm going there. So I think it's going to be New York. I think Houston is a possibility like we talked about. It's going to be interesting to see.
So every team ranked in the Giannis sweepstakes, New Orleans is 28.
28.
Who are we ahead of?
Sacramento.
I'd rather go to Sacramento.
But, dude, isn't that sad, though? Because, like, 3 years ago, New Orleans was this situation where, oh, you got Giannis and you got 1 million draft picks and you got such a bright future. Now you're 28th in the Giannis sweepstakes. How in the hell did you screw it up that bad?
Ruin the franchise.
When you draft people that don't want to play, then that gets you in this situation.
That's crazy, man. So, like that's so depressing.
CBS Sports has the Brooklyn Nets as the #1 team to get them. Houston being second, and that's the tier 1 teams that they're labeled. Golden State's 3.
See, I wonder what Golden State would give up.
San Antonio 4. Wow.
Jesus. Could you imagine those two freaks, Wembanyama and Giannis together?
And then who's the kid that just won the Rookie of the Year.
Castle. They'd probably have to give up Castle, I would imagine, in a deal. But Jesus Christ, dude, you got the length of Wembanyama, the brunt of Giannis. Popovich is kind of a corpse. I don't know if he's going to coach anymore.
Yeah, I
but
think
if
he's
you
done, is he?
and like he didn't retire, but like he had a stroke, then he just had an incident at like a restaurant. So I don't know if he's going to be back, but even still,
The
that'd be
number
great.
5 ranked destination is the Boston Celtics. That's interesting
Jeez.
because Jaylen Brown
He's
is
gone.
gone after
Yeah.
this year.
Yes,
So that's a piece that could be
Brown,
fished out
Porzingis, and
there.
picks. You take it,
Yeah, absolutely.
especially knowing that Brown's probably gone anyway. But is Giannis and Tatum enough? Because Tatum sometimes comes up small. Like
who the hell wants to play with Jason Tatum?
Al Horford.
Yeah.
Curry just got 2 fouls early in the game. I didn't think that they called fouls on
But in
him.
the alternate, take him out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put it. Who do you just have that list there? I'd like to see who's after Boston, if you don't mind. If you clicked out, no big deal. So yeah, we'll be keeping our eyes on that. What did y'all think of the little traka at the end of the game between Giannis and Halliburton's dad, man?
Why is he like able to get on the court? I know he's the star player's dad in the star player's house, but how does that dude get at half court to confront one of the main players in the NBA, one of the top
So
tier
Nick,
players?
you got on the court
I
after the
did,
game.
but it was Trevor Ariza. Nobody's stopping anybody from getting to Trevor Ariza.
That's why Nick asked the famous rapper to take a picture of him.
so,
Who was it?
Meek Mill. I see
Still.
Wale and I'm like, oh shit, I want to get a picture. And I give Meek Mill my phone and say, hey man, can you get a picture of me and Wale? And he looks at me, he's like,
In case you have any clue who these people are.
I know who McMill is.
Because I have
The
no
other
idea
one,
who
I don't
these
know.
people are.
Yeah. So what I don't know is okay. So he had like this flag of his kid. So like, does he just like sit there the whole game, like trying to?
It's like a fathead.
So like, where did that come from? And then like, there's just so many unanswered questions. Like, I don't understand.
I hope they run into the Jokic brothers and that dude tries to pull that shit with the Jokic brothers.
Whew, that wouldn't be good. I saw Harden pushing and shoving with Jokic the other day. I'm thinking to myself, brother, you messing with the wrong dude.
So how do you not come to the aid of your dad?
He said he was on Pat McAfee today.
Throw down
He said his
foul.
dad was wrong. Yeah.
He said that he didn't like he was kind of caught up in the moment, didn't realize anything had happened until after. So he jumps up on the table, starts celebrating, I think, and then goes to the locker room and his dad's about to get his ass kicked by Giannis.
Very quick, boys. We're 4 minutes into this game. The Rockets have shot 8 free throws. The Warriors 0. This is the classic extend the series. Is that a real thing?
The
Absolutely.
shot selection.
Absolutely.
I
It's
know
every
that's-
game for Golden State.
I know that's the Warriors' shot selection normally, but now they're missing, and it looks terrible.
Look, go check the action right now because if that fixes
Van
in,
Vliet.
if that fixes in, you know it early and you can probably make some money.
So it's looking like we might have a game 6 very, very early. But
Absolutely.
Houston is beating the crap out of the Golden State Warriors there in that
I
one.
remember a few years ago, the Pelicans were I think the 8 seed, the Warriors were the 1 seed, and they just destroyed them every game.
That was fun. Yeah.
The good old days.
The good old days for
They would
sure.
start the first quarter, it would be 40-10, and I'm like, okay, game's over.
Didn't the Pels? Okay, so in that series, didn't the Pels like almost beat them in game 1?
No,
No, I think
No?
that was the was that the Lakers series?
There
Like
was
in
a series. There was a
2017?
series where the Pels were a big underdog and they almost won game 1, and everybody's like, "Oh man, like we got them by the balls now."
don't think
And
so.
then the rest of the way,
I
it wasn't
remember
good.
it being blowouts every single game.
And nobody's dad fought anybody.
Nobody, yeah,
It's
nobody's that.
unfortunate.
Tonight we of course got the Timberwolves and the Lakers. I'm gonna probably owe Nick $10
Yes,
tomorrow.
sir.
Jokic and the. Let's talk about this very quickly. Have y'all ever seen a finish like the end of Game 4 where Aaron Gordon has literally gets off the dunk by like a 100th of a second? I've never seen anyone that close before. It would look good call by the officials. I'm a Clippers guy. Good call by the officials. But I've never seen one come down
That
to like,
was-
dude, like they're replaying it and seeing if the ball's still on his finger. Like that was
that
so
was the NC State
freaking
finish from
close.
1983 or 4 or whatever it is.
Was that off of a rebound or a pass?
So
That-
Jokic shot a
Jokic-
fadeaway 3 from almost half court and missed. And because the whole Clipper defense is guarding him, nobody's there to stop guarding and just dunked it in at the buzzer.
So there's a reason I asked that. That was credited as an assist.
Was it
Was it?
really?
Yep.
See that? Excuse my language. That's bullshit, man. That was 100% a shot. 100% a shot.
I'm looking up the scores. It was probably from 2015 that Warriors
Let's
Pelicans
look.
series.
This series, they almost beat them in game one. They were leading
a
in
4-point game, a 7-point game, a 10-point game, and an 11-point game.
yeah, I remember the
That's not
Warriors
how I
series
remember
where
it.
the Pels like played well.
That's not how I remember it.
Why are the, so I'm looking up this 2017 series that I was talking about. Why are the Pelicans teal?
I don't know.
Oh, because they were the Hornets.
Oh, all right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes you answer your own question.
Game 2, 28-17 Pelicans were up in the end of the first quarter.
There, yeah, and
The
then
Warriors
and
put up
then
38.
wait, go back to that, because I just saw some. You had a lineup. These are the guys playing for New Orleans who, while trying to take down the mighty Warriors. Anthony Davis, okay, 45 minutes. Quincy Pondexter, 32 minutes. Omer Ashik, 24 minutes. Tyreek Evans, 41 minutes. Eric Gordon, boo, 39 minutes. He played 39. Wow. Norris Cole, no clue.
What?
28 minutes. Dante Cunningham, 18 minutes. Rhino, 9 minutes. Alexis Agenza, 4 minutes. That team is terrible.
I don't know if there was a player that came to New Orleans that I was more excited than Norris Cole.
And people want to know why Anthony Davis wanted out? There's some U12 biddy teams that got more talent than that.
Casey, Tyreek Evans was a dog. He could
For
go off
1
for
year.
50
For his
any
rookie
moment.
year, he was a dog. And then
Didn't he
he's
get
kicked out the league.
Yeah, didn't he get banned from
Banned.
the league
Yes. I
for
don't know for what, but I know he's
drugs?
banned.
Yeah, he got banned for substance
It
abuse.
definitely was not performance enhancing drugs because his performance was.
Imagine how terrible he would have been if he wasn't on the juice.
I was so
Okay.
excited when we got him from the Kings.
Let's look at the 2013-2014 Pelicans roster. We got Alexis Agenza,
Garbage.
worthless. My nemesis, Al-Farouq Aminu,
Garbage.
Hated him.
Ryan Anderson, good.
Loved
Luke
him.
Babbitt, I liked him.
What? What was there to like about Luke
He was a
Babbitt?
shooter.
He
Nevada.
double or nothing $10. He never averaged more than 6 points a game.
no way.
I'm with you. I'm
No
with
way.
you. Melvin Eli,
Terrible.
Tyreek Evans,
From Melvin Eli from
Fresno State.
Melvin Eli was a dog in college.
Yeah, he was. In college, he was a dog.
Eric Gordon, Drew Holiday, Darius Miller. I love Darius Miller.
He
could
had some
shoot.
moments.
He was a stretch.
Anthony Morrow had some moments too.
Austin Rivers, Brian Roberts, Jason Smith. Was Jason Smith the guy who took
Big,
out
tall, white guy who pushed down Russell Westbrook one time,
No,
didn't he?
the Clippers. It was either no, it wasn't Chris Paul. Was it Chris Paul or was it Blake Griffin
Yeah,
going for the goal?
yeah,
where
I
Jason
remember.
Smith
Yes,
just trucks him.
yes.
One of my favorite moments in Pelicans Hornets history. James Sutherland and Jeff Withey.
Who the hell?
Jeff Withey was a dog.
Yeah.
That was Kansas Jeff Withey?
Yes.
Wow. Casey, wrong. 6.1 points.
Should've
Over the
taken-
season,
should've taken
man.
my.
2017, 2018 Atlanta
I could
Hawks
just
stop.
steady be taking cases.
Yeah, should have taken my offer. Now instead, you're going to just get 10.
Oh, he averaged 6 in New Orleans. He averaged 7 in New
yeah, that
Orleans
was
and then
his
6.
career high, 7 points a game. Yeah, I mean, look, that's not as he's better than I thought he was. I didn't think that he ever made any type of impact at all. And those are the guys trying to beat Steph Curry and Kevin Durant and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson.
I was looking for the roster when we lost Chris Paul and before we got Anthony Davis.
The Dan Dick Al
that was
era?
some of the worst basketball I've ever seen.
Tommy's favorite teams.
Oh my God, they had an era where they were as Van Vliet makes. That's Dylan Brooks who made the three that time. They had an era where there you go, 21 and 61. Now we're getting warmer.
25th in points per game.
Now we're getting
Come on.
warmer, baby. Read me that roster.
We got Al-Farouq Aminu,
Of
Darius Miller, Xavier Henry. I don't even remember this guy. It was
History.
the fake Monty Williams on Twitter days.
You know anything about anybody who ran
I
that?
mean, I enjoyed the Twitter.
So, true story.
Are we coming clean? Oh no, y'all coming clean? Not me.
Oh, no, I'm about to come. Look,
I got some stories for this. too.
true story. In all of our Twitter burner days, you have to make a fake email address. Well, now Google's doing this thing where they're deleting all your fake email addresses if you don't like use them. So I got my not Scott Alexander email that is deleted. I got all of my fake email addresses that have since been deleted. So if ever I want to troll, I'm gonna have to start from square one. It's so unfortunate.
This is gonna be a good clip. So back in the day, there was this person could out themselves. I'm not here to do that. That ran the fake Monty Williams Twitter, and it got a lot of traction.
Yep.
And there was this radio host named Scott Alexander.
Yep.
And I don't know why, but Scott Alexander decided to read this every second of the day.
He didn't like when he had a Twitter against him too.
So this person that created this burner account and I were on our way to Biloxi, Mississippi for our boxing event. And
he wanted to box.
We were listening to Scotty A, and that person was trolling the ever living shit out of him. And he got so mad that he was begging that person to call into the radio show. And me and that person were laughing so much we had to pull over to the side of the road on I-10 just to not wreck. It was awful. It was no, not awful.
It was not awful.
Imagine hosting your own rush hour sports show on the radio and being so consumed with some dude, just some obvious fake Twitter, just trolling you on Twitter. You just like scrolling and refreshing to see what this dude's saying.
Well, why don't you call in, huh? What's going on? Huh? You're gonna hide behind a computer screen? Is that what you're gonna do?
And all you hear is clink, clink, clink. This dude just steady eating on the radio.
4-course meal, Scott Alexander. He's coming for us, Scott. We got a spot for you. You want to come relive all those memories?
Yes, absolutely.
We got a spot for you.
Great times indeed. But I don't know who anybody involved in any of that was.
Look, the biggest Scotty A fan in the world just chimed in on Facebook. The man that runs the DTB podcast, Raj Jambal, loved the fake Monty and the fake Scotty A Twitter. Ross, real quick, did you ever know who was behind that before tonight?
I still don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Person was in my vehicle.
There was a few other ones I remember. There were some good ones. There was the fake Scotty A. Was it Scotty A?
Yeah, guilty.
The fake Coach O was good.
Fake
I don't
Coach
think we
O
had
was
anything.
I didn't have
with
nothing to do with that.
There was a fake Will Wade too.
Oh yeah, where he's
Stone Cold Will Wade.
Well, and there's also like the General Will Wade, where like he's writing to his mom from a warship after every game.
That's
Dearest mother, we have conquered Arkansas and the
kind
lands
of a rip off of the Andrew Luck, but still,
it was still some good stuff. And I think that's actually T-Bop who ran that one. But anyway, we're in good company.
Oh, the old days of Twitter.
Let's shift, before it became X and all politicized. Let's shift gears a little bit and talk about this. Bill Belichick and his old lady are in the news, or Bill Belichick and his young lady are in the news. I don't know exactly how to do that. Because they were doing an interview with, I don't even know who. They're doing an interview with somebody.
We don't have to give credit.
Yeah, we don't have to give credit. That's fine. And the news came out that, or the question came out rather, that where did you guys meet? Because here's the thing, Bill Belichick's like 73, and his old lady, who's actually a young lady, is 24. So I think it's a pretty fair question. How in the hell does someone who could be like your great grandfather becomes your spouse? So it was asked by a reporter, and let's see, I got it pulled up here. It was on CBS News Sunday. And Jordan Hudson, the young lady who is dating, look at her, dude, it's crazy. The young lady who is dating Bill Belichick.
They look normal together.
Yeah.
Looks like a normal couple.
She shut it down. She's like, yeah, we're not answering that. Belichick came out today and said, and by the way, CBS kind of ran like some clips and stuff saying like, hey, we asked this question. The girlfriend shot it down. Belichick came out today and said that it was a false narrative that the young lady was trying to dictate the interview. I was trying to pick and choose the answers.
I like the quote. The final 8-minute segment does not reflect the productive 35-minute conversation which we had. We had covered a wide variety of topics related to my career. That is the ultimate spin right there.
Why is she in the interview anyway?
Look, have you seen her?
Yes, I did.
You heard how high
But
my voice
why?
just got?
He's asking for trouble bringing this chick in for the interview.
But that's the
Like,
whole
he could
reason he's
do-
getting the interview.
He could do it. Yeah, true. But he could do an interview by himself and be Bill Belichick. Just I coach for the Patriots. I coach for North Carolina. No, we're on to Tennessee.
So let me ask you. Okay, so this whole thing is done because he's promoting his new book. Belichick has a book.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's what it is.
So he's doing the media rounds, but he's promoting his book. Here's my thing. I read a little bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit. But whenever I'm reading, I usually in my mind read it in the voice of the person. So
Absolutely.
like if I'm reading Coach O's book, it's like, oh yeah, LSU, all that. So when I'm reading Belichick's book, it's like,
Say that again.
hey, this is Coach O of the LSU football team.
That's pretty good.
So when I'm reading Belichick's book, is he be like, yeah, we beat the Bengals in week 3. Tom Brady had 28 for 31 passing, 300. Like I won't be able to read the book because of that. I guess it's a me problem. The book's probably great, but I won't be able to read the book because the voice in my head is going to be reading it in Belichick language, and I won't be able to get through it.
No, it makes it.
Audio book. For
Yeah, I
this?
was about to say. You know, it makes it worse when they're reading their own audiobook and you have 2 hours a day to drive, and that's what you listen to. But
Where-
look, if you're selling books, right? That's the whole point of doing the media car wash, right? You need some controversy to sell some books.
Controversy creates cash, babe.
Who's bought a boring book? That's the whole point. You want to kind of be excited about reading.
Y'all see that Bischoff and Hogan are partnering for a podcast?
Yeah. So that's what that ended up being. I saw the
Yeah.
hype video. I didn't know what it was
They
surrounding.
announced the third man today. It's a podcast host. It's not Conrad. It might be on Conrad's platform. that they
Probably
air.
got him off of podmatch.com.
I don't know nothing about that. Oh, Jalen Green just got hurt.
How do I always run out of water?
Who
So
drinks
who's
all
the third
water?
man?
Some dude. It was like
Just a random guy like the Undertaker has. This just a random guy with him.
yeah, something like that.
Undertaker as a random guy.
Undertaker has a podcast.
Yeah, just like a
Oh,
random
pretty
dude.
good. Very good.
So where did Belichick and his old lady meet? Being that they don't want us to know, where did they meet?
Rick's Cabaret.
Chat says, word on the street, you may have been a paid employee.
Paid employee, huh?
Yeah. We're on YouTube. We got to kind of keep it woke.
Didn't New England's owner have a scandal involving some friendly
parlor,
massages
yes,
and
yes.
11 free throws to none right now, by the way, for Houston? This is fully a stretch the series out situation.
Friendly massages.
A little happy ending situation.
Is a pretty good term.
Um,
I'm have to use that.
Have the Warriors shot a 2-pointer this game?
no,
yet?
probably not.
No free throws.
Gentlemen, is there any chance that they just like met at a bar room or is there 100% chance there was shenanigans involved here?
It's probably not a good story to tell,
That's
unless
Hence-
you Bill Belichick. and
hence
you're
them not
talking to your
wanting to
boys.
tell it.
But like, from what I gather, she didn't want to tell it. Like he was okay, or maybe they didn't agree with it. So maybe the fabricated story they didn't agree with.
Yeah, there was a pole in the middle of the room, and she started to take off her clothes.
I bet they had the same lighting that we have in here in that establishment.
Are they going to get married, boys?
For his sake, no.
For his sake,
I was saying, well, what's wrong with that?
Why would he marry her?
do I need to bring the picture back up?
Who gets broken up first?
I mean, is she hope?
Who gets broken up first?
This is
Taylor
the
and
family
Kelsey?
show. This is the family show.
Taylor and Kelsey, or Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson? Who breaks up first?
Who's the first one?
Taylor and Kelsey.
Who's that?
Taylor Swift and Travis
my
Kelsey.
God.
Well, whenever that contract for that relationship runs out, I'm sure they're going to go.
Oh,
separate
they're
ways.
contracted.
Yeah.
Belichick might have been contracted to his old lady at first too, and it's crazy. 73-year-old with a 24-year-old, and people thought Coach O was crazy. That woman was in her 40s, y'all.
There's nothing wrong with anything that they're doing.
No, I didn't hear anybody say Coach O was crazy.
Man,
Guess who just walked?
Kind of proud.
Belichick released in the statement how they met. By the way,
You can't believe that.
we have been open about the fact that Jordan and I met on a flight to Palm Beach in 2021. Excuse the language. There's never been a bunch of more bullshit than that. They just met on a flight.
She was either a stripper or his bank teller.
Jesus. You're ready to move to another topic.
Absolutely.
I don't have anything else. Is there anything y'all want to talk about before Mott's mailbag? I don't have
How's
any
the
other.
Chat? How's the chat going?
What's going on in the chat?
We we got a couple. I didn't see these. They met at Big Glenn's in Leeville.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go ahead and star that comment.
Yep.
Big said a massage establishment.
That's not what he said.
And Brad says Bill and Hudson's going to break up first. See, I don't think Travis and Taylor are going to break up at all.
You think that
It's
they're
like America-
soulmates?
It's like America's love story, man.
You
That's so fake.
are,
Who-
are,
who
are your
wouldn't want
girls
a
some
brother?
Swifties?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Kennedy too.
Who wouldn't want to have Travis? Who's the other Jason Kelsey?
Jason
as
Kelce.
a brother-in-law.
Yeah, I kind of think he's annoying, but yeah. Y'all ready to get to the mailbag?
Let's go.
I don't
Yeah.
have the list. Well, yeah, I do have the list in
You
my
just
phone.
made.
You just made the
Hey,
list.
while we pulling that up randomly on Facebook, WWE. We didn't really talk much wrestling because it's terrible right now. Green shirt guy. Give
Green
some.
shirt guy?
You don't know about green shirt guy?
What am I missing? I'm sure I.
He was just front row in the for
At
WrestleMania.
everything. The
Yeah.
guy that's in the front row wears the same green shirt for every event. Casey.
Yeah, I'm.
signed a ton of autographs.
So
at
Nick, I
WrestleMania.
need to know your opinion. What's his deal?
I remember Vladimir from when we were kids. There's
Guy's
a new
fan.
Vladimir.
He's a fan.
He
Yeah,
was
yeah,
getting-
yeah.
He was getting some access that normally fans don't get. So I don't know if he's part
This
of the
guy.
company or he was just. And they say he's front row at every show.
There's a million
he a
rumors.
plant?
There's a million rumors about this guy. So apparently there was this WWE package for WrestleMania that was sold that you could have your own entrance. $100,000.
Oh Jesus!
So that's how
And-
he got exit. Like, because I knew he was on the other side of the railing at some point.
Yeah, it was him and like
Okay,
three
so
other
that's what it
people that
was.
have $100,000 to burn on fake wrestling.
What? There's no such thing.
Hey,
That's
fake,
that's
bruh.
that stuff that they do in college. That's the fake wrestling.
So really nobody knows what he does. We don't know if he got hurt at an event, which may lead to that little girl that Stone Cold ran over.
Shit,
sitting
she's
right
getting
next to him.
title next month.
if you've been run over by a four-wheeler at WrestleMania, better call Bado. We didn't thank our sponsors today, so let's go ahead. We got them on the screen somewhere. Or what we got to do? Let's go ahead and thank our
I need a
sponsors.
water break.
Get a water break.
But so real quick off the top, newest sponsor, DTB Clothing. We have Martin's
We always mess up
Yes.
the name, Martin. I'm sorry.
AC and
ANC
Electrical.
and Electric.
Martin's
Yes.
AC and Electrical. We got Tommy Botto, Law Office of Tommy Botto. We got Brad Terrebonne at Performance Auto. Hung out with Brad this weekend.
Good dude.
Very good dude.
You got a water break?
I can't say what I really wanted to say on the air, but Brad's an awesome dude.
We're gonna get to our mailbag in just a second. Damien's gonna go get him a little H2O. Be good to go. No, I'm good, bud. How was Branson, Nick?
Terrible. The city?
Yeah, let's go ahead and give a recap of the vacation, dude.
Well, I mean, we had some good quality time with the kids. Well, the little ones, like they didn't fight. The rides there were smooth. Not much fighting. Not much complaining.
Is that abnormal? They normally fight.
Kennedy and Nico will fight the entire time, but it was smooth. Just apparently Branson has an off season, which we weren't aware of. So we show up. We have
They have a free agency.
we don't have a list of things to do, but we have a mental list of things to do, and half the stuff on our list was closed.
What?
So, yeah, so we kind of went up there.
But why would it be okay? Why would your off season be like in a warm weather month? I don't
Right.
understand. Like,
because I guess they're like a wintertime Christmassy destination.
screw that.
Like a lot of the stuff we wanted to do with the kids was closed. A lot of the restaurants we wanted to go to was closed. A lot of restaurants we actually went to, we were the only people there, except for that Dolly Parton Stampede, which was packed.
100+ live shows, fun attractions, one of a kind museums, award-winning theme
We got
parks.
a TikTok thing.
Got a little TikTok thing.
Take it over, Casey.
Yeah. So yeah, I it sucks, man. I was hoping that Nick would enjoy his Branson vacation. Obviously, his Wi-Fi wasn't very good. Created the Branson Bruff. Come on, dude, you got to be able to make that work. It's like a just hit continue.
It's not a puzzle piece.
It's wanting to know if you're a human, my guy. Thank you.
We are good.
We're all good. Did you see any magicians?
No, sadly, that's something I usually like to go to.
Did
Especially like when we went to Las Vegas, we went to see a mentalist, like that O's guy.
you believe in that stuff?
I believe in anything.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. That's a nice.
He
ass
just got drafted by the Flash.
Yes, indeed. With the first pick of the 2025 AAU draft.
That would have been awesome to fall and live stream.
One of the
miss-
first TikTok
Did I miss
lives.
something good?
I have my
no, Nick's telling us about how great Branson is.
I have my flash dryer that's plugged into an extension into the wall. I'm going on TikTok live, kind of nervous, kind of weird, awkward situation. I'm walking one way, came back, and almost tripped over that wire.
One wire short, dude. Did the boys enjoy their cruise?
They complained about it the whole time.
Come on.
Yeah.
You know the best thing to do on a cruise is to pay and not go.
You have experience with that?
Yes. I have a lot of experience with that.
I got a shirt that says
Isn't that experience why you're married right now? Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, I mean,
So you got me to thank for that.
I was hoping you would come on. You were my roommate for the cruise. I was hoping to you come on the room onto the cruise, share the room with me or whatever. You didn't come. It was like you've ever had a room on a cruise by yourself?
That must be kind of.
It was kind of nice.
Oh, it was not. I would have said that was
No,
kind
it
of like
was
boring.
kind of. I mean, when I wanted to go to the room and just sleep with nobody interrupting me, it was great.
Well, you slept for like 13 hours straight at a hotel with me once in Thibodeau, so I didn't bother you then.
Yeah, true.
Adrian Broner loses and ain't going to that party. Hand, screw y'all, man. Never gonna live that one down.
Yeah.
we got some more chat love, man. We appreciate all y'all interacting. with us
100%.
tonight.
100%.
It's gonna lead to a lot more editing on my end, but we'll figure that part out.
If you're on TikTok, give us a follow. We'd appreciate that.
Yeah, look, the more love we get, the more our product grows. We got a lot of plans right now. We've been talking about a lot of different stuff that we're trying to do, and we got some folks that are maybe asking us to go do some live shows of their businesses and whatnot. Look,
That's an honor.
We about that life, man. Devin's. Oh, here we go. This is gonna be this. So look, the question on the screen right now. Oh, that's a good one. We might have to change that question up.
Yeah, what's up?
So one of the questions is, and it's going around every podcast syndicate. Can 100 men beat one gorilla? So Devin just said, can 100 cutoff residents versus
easily.
100?
100 cutoff easily.
That's a good.
Okay.
That's a good topic. Is this LeBron's last game?
Oh God, I would love it if it were. But I don't think so. I think that he's gonna want to play with old Sparky one more year.
Are we just going through this, or are we going back to that gorilla one? Because
Go ahead.
I got
Yeah.
my opinions on that.
There's no rules
Okay,
here. What are you talking
so
about?
Yeah, we literally off the cuff.
me and Siri had a little discussion today. I asked Siri how many. They say that a silverback gorilla has the strength of how many men? And it said 4 to 10 men. A silverback gorilla has a strength of 4 to 10 men.
100 would
We got
destroy it.
100 men.
Yeah.
You pick the right 100 men. This gorilla is down after about 50 of them at the most.
Yeah. I'm with you.
You got to sacrifice the first 10 of them. The next 10's got to come in and finish the job.
Let me set this up, right? And we could rephrase the answers to this question. You are at a boxing event at the Cutoff Youth Center.
Mm-hmm.
You have 4 hours to drink, to eat, and watch grown men beat each other up.
Yep.
When that event is over, there's a silverback gorilla waiting underneath the pavilion between the two goals at half court outside. Tell me what happens there.
I'm parking by the pool.
You running away?
If I've been drinking and eating,
You
for
fought
hours-
cowboys after drinking and eating for hours in Grand Isle. So the legend goes, at least.
Can Tyrese Halliburton's dad beat
No.
a silverback gorilla?
You
No.
get John Jones, Brock Lesnar, just go down the list of UFC studs, or what's that Eddie, whatever, that big goofy dude.
Van Halen.
No, he's probably not one you would want on your roster. If he's still alive, RIP. If you are dead, Eddie Van Halen, you were great. But you get 100 fighters, strong offensive line, NFL offensive linemen, Bob Sapp, like big dudes who
No,
can,
the gorilla's gonna get killed.
it's,
I'm
it's
with
only
you.
one gorilla with the strength of 4 to 10 average men. Brock Lesnar is probably 3 to 6 average men.
Yeah, I'm with you on
It's-
this.
It's not it's not gonna go good for this gorilla.
And this question is why I'm glad Tommy's not here. If you're reading the chat, you could read it for yourself.
I could
I
imagine.
just, I'm just glad we avoided him. I'm glad we avoided him being here tonight.
Hope you're doing well, Tommy. We're gonna have you on real soon, I'm sure, at some point. Now, maybe not today, but maybe in the future we're gonna get Tommy back on. A proud sponsor of what we're doing here
He did have a
on the group
question.
chat. He had a question.
Yeah, he wondered if Nick was still buffering.
Bro,
We're good now.
I'm sitting down in the living room, bored, like not bored, but we're done with our activities that actually didn't get canceled. Trying to watch y'all live, and like every 5 seconds it would buffer. And I'm like, oh my God, my guys are out there buffering. They don't know it. And I'm like kind of freaking out for y'all. And Claire's sitting across the room watching the live. No issues. I'm like, okay, so it's me.
I have this problem every time I go live at a sporting event for Bayou Sports. I put it on the iPad, checking on my phone, buffer. Oh my God, the live is buffering. No, it's just my phone service that sucks. I have this anxiety and panic attack every single time I go live somewhere. Every time.
Nick, I got to give it to you. You are a true partner. I got to the point that Nick's wife, Claire, sent a chat in one of our lives saying, please don't go live tomorrow. Nick has to drive home and I'd like to live.
Well, I appreciate the support, brother.
We got a chat question. 100 Curtis Ogerons with PVC pipes versus gorillas.
The
Versus
gorilla.
the gorilla.
The gorilla easily.
With PVC pipes, Curtis is about 0 for 5 with weapons. So yeah, I'm definitely going with the
Yeah,
gorilla.
the gorilla.
Curtis with shoes or flip flops?
No shoes.
I don't know. His kicks, that kick punch with the shoe, if he lands that, is deadly.
If he lands that, listen to this. He's not landing that. He's not landing that on anything.
He's going to come kick our butts.
Oh man, I don't like Keg posted something the other day, and it's usually just a scroll past Keg. Like, yeah, it's trying to be funny. I get you, Keg. I do get your stuff in. Keg posted, just had the thought in my head. Curtis, what you doing down our street? Oh, that old lady. I read it in that old lady voice, and I was dying.
Oh, I don't
Curtis,
use
what's wrong? What you doing down our street?
Look, our lives are going to start getting some traction, and these podcasts are going to be great.
Oh, man.
I don't usually laugh this loud. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's gonna be
gotta
hard for
clip
me.
that. Why are we not using our soundboard?
Cajun Roof and Curtis Ogeron. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, where's the soundboard? That's got to be clipped.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for me to continue.
Oh, these questions is going to be ridiculous.
Steven Adams is still in the league. I didn't realize that. He's playing for Houston. They're up 20, by the way, in this free throw fest. But hey, look, man, one of the people that are showing us a little love, Tidelands. How was your first golfing experience, brother?
The experience was fantastic. So they have a tremendous staff. The folks over there that were finishing up their round were awesome. First time can be probably a little intimidating if you don't know what you're doing.
100%.
But it was pretty cool. As far as my performance, it was god awful. But I mean, we're gonna figure that out.
Yeah.
If you haven't, Jesus Christ, if you don't know me by now, I'm kind of a competitor. I like to win, so I'm gonna have some training coming up.
I was told once, if you play golf, play fast, drink, and have fun, and don't care where your ball goes.
That's the key, because dude, and it's hard because I'm like Damon, like I like to kind of win, but I'm so freaking terrible at it that like if I commit myself to it, and yeah, you gotta kind of temper your expectations, because if you're expecting to do some Rory McIlroy stuff,
No. So I sliced my kind of sliced my first drive on the second hole, and I couldn't find my ball, so I just found one that was already in the mud. I say, hey, that's mine.
hell yeah, that's yours. And then just throw it on the fairway. That's good. Yeah, absolutely. One of the cool things that they do, and I would love to go live, and might be even, I think it's in the fall they do it, so we got plenty of time. The coolest thing in my estimation that they do out there at Thailand is when they do their night tournament, where they put like the glow sticks out on the fairways and everybody's playing with the glow in the dark balls. That's really cool. You're watching your shot like fly through the night sky. That's really, really cool. I'd love to actually maybe do a live show there for that. That'd be awesome.
Look, so Thailand's, if you're listening, we love you,
Yeah, we love you.
and hopefully we can make something happen because I think it would be pretty cool.
Yeah, no
so,
doubt.
Mr. Thailand's Josh Fullove had a hole in one the other day.
Yeah, shout out Josh Full.
His third career. That's look. That's Bryson DeChambeau said he's only made one in his career. So,
So he's better than Bryson.
he's
DeChambeau.
better than Bryson DeChambeau.
I mean, in my book.
Let's get to our Mott's mailbag. We need to get a sponsor for this. I'm tired of saying Mott's name on these
I
programs.
feel like
Zataran's Jambalaya?
It's just an old habit that we always gonna have.
This first question comes from Tyrus, and I read it and I was like, dude, this is a really good question. Since NBA games are the most accessible high-level basketball on TV, but the style of play doesn't translate one-to-one to youth basketball, what would you say would be the most important takeaways / skills to focus on for a young kid, or for a young kid to get a young kid should get rather from watching the game to improve their skills? Or should they just watch for entertainment and increase their love for basketball?
The best advice I could give to a young person that's watching the NBA and taking some takeaways from that is the same thing I believe Kendrick Lamar says: turn the TV off. You don't want to watch it. There's nothing that comes good out of this game. The way it's played, the guy that's sitting on the TV right now, Steph Curry, as great as he's done in the
He
NBA,
set the game back.
he's ruined
Yeah.
the youth level because everybody wants to shoot threes, and as soon as you make one, you're chasing that high for the rest of your life, and you want to make some more.
Yep.
You sit by the
So-
concession stand and go to Meadow and try to jack threes up your whole middle school career.
As a kid basketball player, you should look at the NBA like a movie. Like you might do plays and stuff in your local school. This is a movie. You might not ever get to that level. This is something completely different than you're doing. Just watch it, and if you can enjoy it, go ahead and enjoy it. One thing I can say about the NBA and how to learn from it, like I have a 13-year-old kid who had no interest in basketball when he was probably about 5 or 6. He got NBA 2K and the My Player thing. This is something I tell to all the kids I coach to. If you take your My Player and you put them at the position that you play, it helps your what you call that, awareness, and your offensive IQ, defensive IQ. Because if you're playing man to man on that game and you go away from your man, you lose points, and it teaches you to stay with your man. It teaches you how to guard your man. It teaches you on offense where you need to be. It teaches you on offense that if you just jacking up bad shots, you're going to have a bad teammate score or whatever. It teaches you that if you are out of position, you can have a bad teammate score. It teaches you where to be and how to do it without actually telling you how to do it, just seeing how your score goes up or down.
Yeah, I think
So,
that's fair.
My 13-year-old had no interest in basketball, started playing 2K, and now when I coach him on the floor, I feel like he is the smartest basketball player on the court because he grew up playing this game. And I don't give him that many compliments, but that's something that I always say, that his playing of 2K, which, usually you say, stop playing all those video games, boy, get outside and go shoot the ball.
Coach O said that.
But this is something I can credit to him for playing that game so much. He learned how to play in the positions that he's supposed to be playing in. I had me and Jacob just coached an all-star team. We had a big kid who was one of Victor's friends, and his 2K guy is a shooting guard when he plays center. And I told him, I was like, if you get you a center who doesn't really shoot, isn't really fast, doesn't really dribble, and you learn how to play defense as a center and offense as a center and set screens and stuff, it will help you learn the game.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of kids these days struggle with offensive IQ and defensive IQ, and that game actually helps out a lot.
I agree with
Sorry for
everything
the
you just said.
long-winded
No,
answer, but-
I think that's very profound. The one thing that I would say from my experience, and look, I grew up in the Jordan and Sean Kemp and Gary Payton era. Like I couldn't do none of the stuff they were doing. The one thing that being a fan, and the reason why I would encourage kids to watch, but watch with a grain of salt and don't, try to replicate what you're seeing. But the one thing that watching taught me, and I was a big Orlando Magic fan as a kid, it taught me that I love to win, and it taught me that I hate to lose. When you become a fan of something, it makes you more competitive. Because when Shaquille O'Neal and them made it to the finals and lost to the Rockets, I was freaking pissed. When we beat the Bulls in the round before, our second round, whatever, I was elated. So being a fan of something does, I think, teach you, hey, like, it's awesome to feel like you're a part of something. But with that having been said, if you're a fan of the Warriors right now, don't go and try to do what Steph Curry's doing, which is shooting threes, fading away from half court, because your coach is going to bench you. And you like, case in point, like he just did. Now, he made the shot, but you can't necessarily replicate that, because what you don't see is the 100,000 times that Curry practiced that to get the right to shoot that in a game. Does that make sense?
Right. He could be shooting unguarded 80%, 90%, guarded 40, 50%. If you're shooting 12%, 13%, probably not the shot selection you should be aiming for.
No doubt. Good question from Tires.
Look, go watch some high school basketball. Watch some mid-level college basketball if you'd like to learn the game. The high level stuff is very similar to the NBA at this point. But watch some of those smaller schools with some experienced coaches if you want to really learn the game.
I love that question that Devin just sent in. We will get to that one a little later on, Devin. We got a question from Pierce from Golden Meadow. How you doing, buddy? Money's no option. What's your bucket list sports trip / vacation? Example, Tommy traveling to Manchester, England to watch Pep lose his final Manchester Derby at Old Trafford. I know mine, but it's very specific. So, and it's probably not realistic anymore. It would be the final round at Augusta with Tiger Woods on the first page of the leaderboard. That would be it for me. Like if I could have been there the last time that he won it, 5-6 years ago, that would have been like my sports heaven. He is my favorite athlete in any sport at any time. I like him more than I like James Harden. That's saying a lot. But I also realize that that's probably not possible anymore. So I don't know.
So
other than that,
this
I really
is
don't
a
know.
going back in history type of thing.
I don't know. I mean, I guess we could interpret it however you want, but it says money's no option. What's your bucket list sports trip / vacation? I would like to, the Tiger thing aside, I would like to go to Omaha for the College World Series.
So I'm going to give a couple answers just because I can't really select one. So if we're going current day, like if next year we're planning this, and 16-year-old me would knock the shit out of 41-year-old me, I want to go to the Masters. I feel like that's the last true place on the earth. There's so many rules that disallow technology.
Can't bring your phone in.
I love it. It's the last true sporting event that you're not going to have people just playing on their phones the entire time. So you mentioned Omaha. I would love to be able to go back, watch, and be in the stadium for that Warren Morris home run when they beat Miami, and then bring me back to the Superdome. Jordan hits the game winner against Georgetown to put UNC as the national champion. You can line me up for all three of those events. I guess I got goosebumps.
So
awesome.
I was at Jellystone as a kid for the Warren Morris thing, and I remember there's like a long street where you make the turn, and there's like a long street, and it's just a row of nothing but campers. And this is before like Wi-Fi and everything. So most of the people really didn't have the game like on TV. We were just kind of listening on the radios. And I remember all the campsites had the game on radio loud. And I remember I'm riding my bike down the little strip, and I could hear everybody's radio because it's like I'm listening to the radio broadcast while riding my bike. And then I hear, oh, yeah, it's a fly ball. Oh, it's gone. And everybody just going crazy. You hear this loud roar. It's like the entire campground was in Omaha, stuff flying in the air. I will never forget that. A jubilation, a whole community of people. Nobody knew anybody else, but it didn't matter. We all were celebrating because LSU won the damn national championship. It's amazing.
I'll share my story on that. So I don't remember the year or how old I was, but my grandfather opened up his bar. It's like private party. We probably had like 40 people there, and everybody was kind of doom and gloom. And when that happened, it was like, all right, the world's fine. We're good.
Absolutely.
My number one would be probably the World Cup. I mean, I'm a big soccer guy, but lately I haven't been really watching. Like I had big hopes for this upcoming World Cup, but we somehow stink when we were supposed to be good.
Yes.
But going to a World Cup and like having your team maybe in the finals or like in the knockout round or something, that's got to be amazing.
I agree.
If you're a big soccer country, or even like the United States would be a big soccer country if we'd make it far. I feel like when we get a couple wins in group stage, like there's a buzz. So if we make it deep into the knockout round, I'd imagine it would be a big deal. So that going to a World Cup knockout championship or something deep into the tournament, that would be probably my bucket list. That or LSU at Omaha.
Look, we
Even
got.
though I'm not that big of a college
Did
baseball
they?
guy.
Yeah, they just say
That's just
Omaha's
magical.
awesome. Yeah,
It's just
like
a magical situation.
yeah, I'm with you, man. Let me ask you this: between the three of us, roughly, we got about 45, 50 years left. Are we going to win a World Cup in our lifetimes?
No. If we don't do it within the next 8 years, we're not doing it.
It's depressing.
because we had so much hope with this group coming up, and every time I watch a friendly now, it's like, man, we are terrible.
Yeah, and that's depressing. Marcus from LCO wants to know. Is Marcus from LCO? With the decline in population in the 10th ward in recent years, did I put the wrong question?
No, you
Oh,
good.
all right. Okay, I'm sorry.
Hey, look, if you chatting along with us, we're gonna answer this stuff.
Yeah,
Just
100%.
keep
My,
on
my, my
asking.
bad, dude.
We ain't got nowhere to go.
With the decline in population in the 10th ward in recent years, do you ever see a situation where LCO and Golden Meadow combine to make one middle school? Marcus, I don't know the answer, but my personal answer is, goddamn, I hope not. Because dude, I love the rivalry. And I get it. LCO has more population. Maybe it creates an advantage or whatever it may be. Golden Meadow's kind of the underdog, but I think, and you would know this better, you're a coach that you made. Like, I think you guys relish being that underdog. I hope it doesn't ever happen. Maybe it will. I don't know, but I would look forward to what you guys have to say about that.
I'm right there with you, and that happened in Thibodeau. Obviously, that's probably where the question stemmed from. But those schools were literally back to back.
Yeah.
It's I don't see that happening, and I really hope it doesn't, because it's really not watered down. It makes for almost and we're talking about sports. I'm a sports guy. I'm finished with school, so I'm kind of done with that. But the competitiveness is interesting. It's different, and when you combine in 2 to 1, you're gonna get that.
Would no next layer. Let's piss some people off from Thibodeau. Would an LCO Golden Meadow combined school win parish and everything?
We would be
Be
definitely
close.
right up.
Yeah.
We'd be right up there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. That's the other part of it. And we would run roughshod over a lot of people, but I like the rivalry. We got Boudreaux in the house.
Yeah, Tommy can.
Missed the golden medal.
Am I echoing?
Nope,
No, you
not
good.
at all, dude. We got you, Tommy. How you doing today, brother?
Oh, just lovely. Just finished a 5 and 6 year old baseball game.
Awesome. Did you guys win?
You know, we're all winners in my book. So
Oh, they lost.
Oh, that y'all played
no,
hard.
we don't keep score up here. It's for the kids. So it was a gracious tie. But one of my kids did well. One of the guys on my team hit a home run, so that was great.
You know what's interesting? If
Did
you
a
take
bad flip.
the echo cancellation off of Tommy, you could hear him.
I did buy a new microphone wire connection to the gaming headset, so I'm not sure if that
Hey.
does anything.
You're not echoing.
You're good.
Hey,
Well,
Not echoing now. Wait till we replay it.
what's your answer, Tommy? Golden Meadow LCO merger. Would you ever be in favor of that?
Absolutely not. I mean, I'm not going to say it's bad. You know, the rivalries kind of died down a little now that there's only one biddy program down there, and I know we kind of had a good time talking about that. I definitely think Golden Meadow LCO needs to withstand the test of time. I would not be in favor of a merger of one junior high school.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Let's go to Jay from French Settlement, who wants to know, when you become a head coach, how do you go about picking your staff? What qualities do you look for? I can't answer this one, as I've never been a head coach of anything of substance. So I will refer this to you guys. What are you guys looking for when you're looking for assistant coaches?
I'm gonna let Nick take this one first.
I just say, hey, you want to be an assistant coach?
That's how it worked
And they
whenever
usually
you got
say
me.
no. Yeah, they usually say no, but every once in a while somebody's gonna say yes. And you say basically, are you a dad of somebody on the team? No, great, okay. Because if you take a dad of somebody on the team, that kid's probably gonna get pissed off at the dad all the time, and it never works out good.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I'm gonna take the exact opposite approach of Nick's answer right there. So I'm gonna look for someone that knows the game, knows what they're doing, not shy away from folks that maybe have done it before and have been successful. Right? You want to always have successful people on your bench, not somebody that's has very limited experience, and you want some good people. At the end of the day, you gotta, man, when you are coaching specifically, let's just say at school, right, or even in the summer, not necessarily biddy rec or all stars, because it's a very short season, but you with these folks a lot.
Mhm.
You with these folks sometimes just as much as you are with your family. So you want to make sure that they are they're on the same page. You could trust them, that they talking just as good about you to your face as they are behind your back, because you get into a lot of crazy situations where that allegiance gets tested at times with different parents and different situations, different just not necessarily parents, but just different opinions. And you got to make sure that you could trust those folks, and they got to be tough, right?
They got to be fun to hang out with. 'cause
They,
you spend a lot
they
of time hanging
definitely
out.
do.
You guys asked me. I'm none of these things that y'all are. So y'all both have asked me.
Absolutely.
I'm none of these things. That
You're not fun to hang out with.
good person, fun to hang out with.
You're
I
fun
don't
to
go
hang
like
out
I
with,
don't
Casey.
go anywhere. I'm kidding, of course, but no, I'm flattered. Like I'm over here, like, hey, these guys.
Hey,
are,
we
you
need
know.
somebody to go after the Thibodeau grandmas that
Woo!
are talking trash.
I could do that. I could do that.
So my last point on that is going to be, you got to have somebody with short. What do they call quarterbacks? You got to have it when they
Short
throw it in
memory?
Sharp memory.
Yeah.
So I took this. I thought I was a pretty decent assistant coach. I was a soundboard. I was able to be yelled at, and rightfully so at sometimes. Sometimes you got to take the head coach's frustration, and you can't take that personally. I think that's a huge, huge asset as an assistant coach.
And just to be clear, Nick was not sighing at what Damien was saying. Nick was sighing was Dylan Brooks just banked in a 3-pointer.
Yeah, this game's over with.
The Rockets continue to have a big lead over
Uh-oh.
Golden State. So yeah, no, great answers. Bado, what do you think makes a good assistant coach, good sir?
Well, I guess I'm kind of in the middle on this. So at my juncture with 5 and 6 and 7 and 8s, I'm just taking warm bodies at this point. Case in point, today, my 2 usual suspects were out of town, and so I actually had some of the moms helping me out. So that was very interesting, running around and trying to corral 5-year-olds with bats in the dugout. But I think I'd probably tend more to go to what Damien says, parent or not. Like, I have to have, if I'm going to be picking a staff or at least an assistant, I got to have somebody who is cool to hang out with. You know, I don't care whose dad they are, as long as they understand the game. I guess I just came from the unique point of my dad coached me most of my age growing up, so I'm just used to kind of having that dynamic. And I'm also coaching my kids, so as long as the dad is not just there because of his kids on the team, and he actually knows some ins and outs, and of course, you know, where these guys are doing, if you're on the road and staying in hotels and partying in lobbies, yeah, I mean, you don't want to be stuck with sticks in the mud, no matter how good their X's and O's are. So and I'll just go on the record saying, Casey, you might not be the greatest person, but in present company, you are probably the goodest dude at the table. So you
Well,
got
thank
that
you,
going
man.
for you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's very nice of you to say, Tommy.
Hey, good point, Tommy. Specifically in the travel ball scene, you gotta have somebody that could be your road dog. So shout out all my assistants this year: Cody Sanamo, Brad Terrebonne, Tyre Smith. Who am I missing anybody? I think that's about it.
Yeah,
that's
I
my
mean,
road
you know,
dogs.
sometimes it's good to have those number twos, guys who, you know, and you'll find a lot of those guys. You find that it's the same thing like in the workforce. Some people don't want to be, you know, they don't want to be the man. They don't want to be, you know, they just want to sit there behind the scenes. And it's good to every once in a while and I'm sure you guys experience this on a better level, but they see things that you don't. You're all heated, getting teed up, and they're like, hey, pass it to this dude. He's wide open, or run this play. I mean, that's kind of got to help too.
And look, as an assistant, to make a good staff, you got to be able to take those suggestions and not take those personally either. But I found out on Saturday that I selected the right staff, because you got to have that staff that's okay with drinking 3 margaritas at Superior Grill, and then maybe ended up at Gators, and then possibly having one of your parents dance with 80-year-old ladies at La Casa and in United Boogies. Who knows?
And
True
maybe
story.
willing to fight a gorilla for you too, as well.
True story. We were all, myself and Nick, on a Damien staff one time, trying to get him to throw a game at Lockport, and he just didn't want.
I hate losing, but we did it.
Reluctantly, we did.
very
I just-
reluctantly.
I
we
just
did.
had y'all sweating.
like put in the damn alternates, Damien. Stop pressing, Damien. What are we doing?
The
Now,
great
knowing
flash
how that
point
Biddy
shaving.
season went, they would have probably just arranged the bracket for us to have the easy matchup anyway.
Mhm.
Oh, screw it. Y'all are third place. Here's the trophy. But yeah, like, why you didn't just listen to us, dude? Like, what
I
was
did.
Yeah.
I did. I knew. Look, I had an idea of what I was doing. Y'all were, like, I think y'all pulled my leg hair out that game.
Who were we even playing that we were trying to tank?
Thibodeau.
Lock-
I know we
The
were.
one time we didn't want to beat Thibodeau.
Okay.
So just to preface the story, we didn't want to lose the game on purpose. But the way
we did.
the way
The
did.
tournament was set up that if
Yeah.
you finish good,
if you finish second, you basically have your paved road to the championship.
Yeah.
No, if you finished third, you had a paid road. If you finished second, you were going to run into the number one team in the semifinals.
TPR.
So if we would lose that game, we'd finish third. If we win the game, we finish second. If we win the game, we'd have to play.
There's
Terrebonne.
nobody else that we lost to that we would have came out third.
I think La Rose or Lockport.
We beat Terrebonne.
No, we didn't.
No, yeah, we didn't beat.
That wasn't the same.
We were blowing them out in halftime.
No,
and
no,
then they
no.
came
There was
in.
an opening round game on a Friday night that we beat Terrebonne.
Yeah, we played Terrebonne in the finals. Like Nick said, we were beating them like 20-3, and then they were like, "Hey, we're Terrebonne.
Yeah.
We're not going to lose."
That
And-
was awesome.
Yeah.
No matter we lost that game, that was still a really cool experience.
I have this next question from Murder, and I don't even know how to pronounce what this is. If the 4 major non-combat American sports leagues had to send 3 current active representatives to the what?
Kumite.
Kumite. Who are your
Bloodsport.
picks? NFL, NHL, MLB, golf. Players do not have to be American, and there's not a chance that golf isn't the first one out, right? Bryson DeChambeau's pretty tough, maybe tougher than some baseball guys. First, I don't know 3 hockey guys, so I'm out there.
Oh, what's the brothers that
Yeah.
are American?
The ones that fought the Canadians.
Yeah.
Oh,
after the
yeah.
anthem.
You're
What's
right.
their names?
You're right. I don't know their names, but I know who you're talking about.
Their
Yeah.
dad played in the 90s.
Kachuk.
Yes.
The
yes.
Kachucks.
Either Keith Kachuk or Matthew Kachuk.
Kachuk.
Matt's the son. I believe Keith's the dad.
Kachuk.
And there's another one. There's a brother too.
And like I'm gonna just
Yeah.
say he's like Sidney Crosby because that's
That's-
the only other hockey player I know.
NBA Steven Adams. I wouldn't mess with. There was a guy that played for the Heat that was an actual not UFC but MMA fighter. James Johnson, maybe.
James Johnson, yeah.
That's the guy I wouldn't mess with.
Draymond's fake tough. I wouldn't put him on my
Steve
list.
Blake.
What?
Steve Blake's gonna throw some hands at the drop of a hat.
From Maryland?
Yeah.
Tommy, Steve Blake? He's like 6'1",
Did you not see
140.
the Steve Blake video from maybe his rookie year?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure he might have beat somebody's ass one time, but I'm not putting him in the whatever, the Kumati, whatever. Like,
Casey, you've never seen.
Casey, you don't know what the Kumite is? Bloodsport?
Was that
what is that?
Van
What are y'all
Damme.
talking
the
about?
Jean-Claude Van Damme movie? It's not.
I
Bloodsport,
just told
kickboxer.
y'all I wasn't interesting. Y'all didn't believe me.
Tong Po would come out and.
That's the
Tong
kick.
Po.
No, that's kickboxer.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Was it
Oh,
Bloodsport?
Bloodsport was Chun Li.
Chat says Bob Sura in the house.
Bob Sura.
I'm going 90s Shaq. I'm going 90s Rodman, and I'm going late 80s Lambeer to go in the Kumite.
Oakley, baby.
That Knicks team we talked about.
Yeah.
Just give me that mid 90s Knicks team with Oakley, Charles Smith, John Starks,
Was,
and Harper.
Who beat up Jordan Poole?
Draymond.
Was the question we had to pick one from each Big Four sport?
Nick, come
Like,
on.
he's got a good jab. Oh, he took a lick.
Dude,
Yeah.
this dude's not winning a fight
Blake's
against
off my team.
anybody. What all this hype to
not how
show
I
me this
remember it.
video? The dude's a complete wuss.
That's not how I remember.
He's 6 foot 160 and he's a complete wuss.
Nick must have lived in the clouds as a kid. Nothing he remembers. is
No,
accurate.
like Tommy, he just showed me the video. It's Steve Blake getting his ass kicked by somebody.
I was just as shocked as
He's
you.
going
He's a little white point guard. I'm not sticking him in the Kumite.
No. MLB, who we got? Like,
Oh, well, NBA. I
Nolan
want
Ryan almost killed that
Yes,
guy
I
one
would
time.
Definitely take
Pedro
Nolan
Martinez.
Otani.
A
He's gotta know
90-year-old
karate.
Manager comes running after him.
Tommy says Otani got to know karate. That's a very interesting thing to say.
It's home. It's in his hometown.
Who's some Albert Bell? You remember when Albert Bell got walked and they were like, "Go to first." He's like, "Nah, bro, I ain't going to first."
He
He was
ran
pretty
that
intimidating.
shortstop over.
We got any
Give me like
Brazilians? in there?
John Krupp would have to be
Krupp.
good.
Randy
You seen
Randy
John Krupp
Johnson.
when Randy Johnson threw that fastball over his head.
I want Randy Johnson. He's got that. He could be a kickboxer. He's like 6'10".
George Brett. Thinking George Brett could do some damage.
He wanted to fight that umpire
Yeah.
one time.
Yeah, the pine targets.
What was that? Was he a shortstop or second baseman or a guy that was trying to steal? Odor?
yeah.
Rudneg Odor.
Holdor.
Careful, Damien doesn't know the Game of Thrones
Yeah, me
reference.
neither. I got the reference.
So,
but,
so we got to do 3 golfers now. So I already said DeChambeau. Got to be John Daly, right?
Gotta be.
I don't know any other greasy golfers. I mean,
Greg Norman.
yeah.
Shark.
Daly's got to be on there. DeChambeau's big and strong. You know what? Tiger Woods is big and strong. I'll throw him in there.
I'm not
whatever.
putting Tiger Woods in the
Yeah.
Kumite. Go watch that movie.
Yeah,
There's
but they got
some
they
good
got that
chat
one
room.
little dude that jumps around like a monkey. So you got to think we got to have some agility, some little spry guys. Maybe Rory McIlroy might surprise us. I don't know.
All right.
That's what Steve Blake would.
I
think.
would love to see Rory McIlroy get his ass kicked. So yeah,
Like
sure.
a
let's throw
spider
him in.
monkey.
Got some Mo Vaughn love in the chat. Anthony Mason,
Anthony Mason ain't a bad
Yeah.
Joe
choice.
Pena,
That ain't a bad choice. Next question is going to be an easy one to answer.
Vijay Singh for the golf.
Vijay
I would,
Singh.
yeah, that's solid.
What Saturday morning radio station will you and Coach be on come football season? RIP 100.3. Ryan from Parts Unknown. Ryan, thanks for the question. We're not stopping, dude. We're still on every Saturday morning, but we are on 102.7 and 1600 AM. So 102.7 FM, 1600 AM. 100.3 is now wrap. We get that, but we are still on Coastal Broadcasting. If your signal doesn't catch 102.7 or 1600, go to kleb1600.com, hit listen live, and that's where we are every Saturday morning. That didn't stop in football. We're still
Or
rolling.
you could download the TuneIn Radio app
100%.
and listen to it there, which is what I do it when shouldn't be.
100%. John from Rose, we already answered this one. Well, I mean, are we really going to pick 100 people? It's 100 men versus a gorilla. Let's pick our 100-man squad. We're going to do like Jericho. Number 1, arm bar. Number 2, arm bar.
He did have more moves than Malenko.
Yeah. I mean, who are a few people that would be on our squad?
John Jones.
Bones Jones.
Can they be
Vol-
deceased?
What's your boy Volkanov or whatever?
We're just picking like the
Volkanovski?
baddest dudes around. Like
yeah,
that's
just basically
Kimbo's-
UFC champions.
Kimbo Slice if he
Dustin
was still
Poirier.
alive.
I
Put him on
mean,
there.
Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis.
I'm comfortable with all those. Ray
Roy-
Lewis, you
Roy-
know.
You got to be tough or stupid.
Tank Abbott.
Tank Abbott.
Tank
That's a
Abbott in his
throwback.
prime. Maybe just 2 Tank Abbotts and that gorilla's down.
Lesnar. We
Not-
already talked about that.
Not Tank Abbott, WCW Tank Abbott.
No, that was fast.
Give me one of the Gracies, because if he hops on that monkey's back, we got a
Right.
chance.
Like, how big is a gorilla's neck? Because if you got 3
not as
dudes-
big as the anacondas.
How big is a gorilla's neck is a question that I never thought would be posed at
If
any
you
point in my
got-
career.
3 big dudes in the front, the gorilla's busy with these 3 guys, and a little jiu-jitsu guy comes from behind and rear naked chokes.
He's done.
Yeah, he's done.
I mean, the gorilla's going to throw him off, but the next guy,
Can one of the Gracies choke out an anaconda?
An anaconda?
That was a previous question.
I want the
Yeah.
whole Gracie family. If I get to pick 100, give me the whole Gracie family, because one of those dudes will finish the choke.
I'm with you.
And
They're going to
so-
pull
Show
guard
is
on that
off the
gorilla.
rails.
They're going to pull guard on that gorilla. The gorilla's not going to know what the hell's going on.
Then they're
Be like,
gonna
"Why-
use
why
the
this
gi.
guy's
You remember
smoking
he used to like use his gi when they were still wearing those. That was over.
Snap an arm. That gorilla only has 1 arm left.
You got
Give me the
99
bloodline
dudes.
and the Gracies, and keep the
A
champ.
bloodline.
Hey,
Seacaws.
Yeah.
The whole. I
give
want the
me,
whole
uh,
bloodline.
Matanga.
yeah.
The
that-
whole bloodline.
Haku would be another guy that I want on my
Oh.
team.
Why are they giving us 100 people?
That's what I'm saying.
We don't need 100 people.
We don't need 100 people.
J Lo and Anaconda for distractions. I like that.
Oh man,
I like the way these things are coming
it
out.
does. It does look at really good.
Eddie Hall. Who said Eddie Hall?
Today.
Murdoch.
That's the guy. I couldn't think of his name, but yeah. That's a big, dumb, strong.
What about the
tough
other dude that eats with him all the time? The American one. He's bald.
I know who you're talking about. I don't know.
Oh my
his name.
god! Why,
Dusty
is
Rhodes?
it Adam? No.
Dusty Rhodes.
Adam Ray. Just have him there for comedy purposes.
Oh,
We
I don't even know who that is.
That's the guy that does Dr. Phil on
Oh, he's good.
Kill Tony. Yeah, he's good.
So we're revisiting a question that we kind of half-ass answered the other day. Kyle from Golden Meadow wants to know who's on your Lafourche Parish Mount Rushmore. Tommy already gave his complete answer.
But I think we edited all that out.
Okay, so Tommy, go ahead and tell him one more time.
Bobby Hebert, Coach O, Vin Bruce, Tab Brune.
I'm going Coach O. I'm going Wendell.
Gotta have Wendell.
I'm going Bobby J. And oh man, I'm still stuck on the fourth one. Go ahead, y'all give y'all.
I got Bebe. I got Bobby J, Wendell Curall, and who's the duck guy?
Tam Brune.
Brune.
Dan Bruner.
Tam Brune.
So I got my
Solid.
three. I got my 3 solid. I think we agreed on these. Coach O, Bobby J, Duffy Bro is getting etched in that stone, and my 4th feel like my fourth's tough.
Brendan Mathern.
If he wouldn't have canceled Halloween, he was
That
etching
he
his
would be up
place.
there if he wouldn't have canceled
Brendan
Halloween.
gives us Halloween every year.
No,
We are
did get-
lucky to have Halloween
Brendan
every year.
Mathern did get dunked on for Mardi Gras. Somebody has footage of that, and hopefully it gets released.
Wait a minute. I didn't go to any parades this year. Somebody on y'all flow dunked on Brennan?
Pre-parade. Somebody in this chat or somebody in this on this video call said that or had a goal and a ball, and we decided to go behind folks and just dunk on them.
Let me tell y'all a Halloween story about these SOBs here. I was at a parade once at this gentleman's former living space in Golden Meadow. They were riding in the parade. I was not.
Allegedly.
I was told, hey, just go watch the parade. Like, we're going to have people. It's going to be a great time. And yeah, it was a good time. Their float comes. I get told by, I think this guy, I don't even remember fully, hey, come sing. I go to the float and I get glitter poured on me. A tub of glitter poured on. Not just like a little bit of glitter, a tub of glitter poured on me. If you are looking close right now, I probably still have glitter in my beard, probably still have some like on my person right now because I got a tub of glitter poured on me. That was probably soaked in beer.
So the problem with that is the people that sold gallon Ziploc bags of glitter. And I mean, how do you not throw that?
The biggest problem was that if you were downwind from the guy that was throwing the glitter, which Damien's in the middle of the float, I'm on the end of the float, and every time he throws the glitter at somebody, I get a mouthful of glitter. I had glitter in this ear for probably about a month after that.
So this year it was I had the smoke cannons, and the wind was really bad on Mardi Gras Day, and Blake Botto was about 15 different colors. He was on the side of me, and Tommy as well. He caught like the third part of the raft.
And while all of that sucks, it could have been worse, Casey. You could have, and I don't know, I can't confirm or deny this, but you could have caught a jar of crab boil to the face.
I could have been asked to eat a urinal cake too, which also happened at a Mardi Gras parade. You remember that? Hey, why don't you eat this pepperoni, which you handed to somebody, which was a urinal cake.
He ate it.
As Botto loses the headset and everything. Not gonna say who we did that to, but yeah, I saw that firsthand.
I totally forgot about that.
Why don't you eat this pepperoni? Oh, okay. What the hell kind of pepperoni is this, bruh?
Probably the bestest breath I've ever smelled.
Yeah. So long story short, don't always have your guard up if you're enjoying Mardi Gras at the St. Pierre residence. Next question comes from Big Steve from Cutoff, who wants to know: the Falcons defensive coordinator was fined $100,000 for his prank calling Shedeur Sanders. You guys are dads. I'm not. What would you do if your kid did something that cost you $100 large? What would the punishment be? You guys got to take this one. I'm not a dad. Y'all all three are.
What's your salary? If you making $10 million, $100,000, that's you kind of like.
Okay,
that was good.
Let's fix the question. Your kid cost you $1,000.
Yeah, like for us. Yeah. Fair enough.
Kind of pissed.
Kind of pissed. Big ball of shirt
for
guy over
real.
here.
He was making a killing on TikTok.
I did make 34 cents on a live.
So
yesterday.
just for context, your boy Ulbrich, is that his name? Yeah, Ulbrich makes 1.6 mil as a defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, well, Nick asked.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I mean, I'm taking away everything. Now, I mean, they're still investigating. Supposedly, Tyler Warren got a mysterious phone call, and your boy Abdul Carter. So that's now 3 people who have allegedly gotten prank phone calls. I don't know if this is all your boy's son.
Either.
He pretended to be Mickey Loomis. That's a nightmare.
And he didn't talk like, hey, this is Mickey Loomis from the Saints.
Like I hate the way the dude talks.
I mean, it's got to be pretty good when you thought the Saints were going to pick you.
But like it wasn't. It was like the worst prank call ever. Like, yeah, are we gonna take you?
And then he says,
You're gonna have to wait longer.
yeah, well, you have to wait longer. What?
Like Shedeur didn't even get it.
It'd have been so much better if you'd have said, hey, here's this pepperoni, Shedeur.
Look, I actually felt bad for the young man. You know, he waited that long to get that phone call, and then to have that be a prank was kind of
But
crappy.
Shedeur does not seem to be too bright. I mean,
There's a reason why he slipped to the 5th
Right.
round, brother.
and I wonder what his Wonderlic
That's
test was. That might
exactly
be-
what I was about to go.
Oh,
with.
that
here
might
we
be
go.
that
What's his
problem.
I don't think they
Wonderlic?
publicize those anymore.
After Vince Young.
Yeah.
Right? He just sounds dumb and didn't get it that it was a prank call. Apparently, he's not a Saints fan. He doesn't know what Mickey Loomis sounds like.
Well, he probably thinks that drafting him would be a good pick, which he knows the Saints would be incapable of making a good pick. So he just knew it was fake.
But the thing about it is that was like nobody had those numbers. Those are specifically
Yeah,
given to
yeah.
those players. So
Yeah.
I mean that I'm sure at that point that develops some type of trust that you're getting a legitimate.
From what I
phone call.
understand, the players are given a phone, and then the numbers are just on a list that are sent to the GMs. So, I mean, not too many people have that number, and if they do have, they randomly select those numbers. They're not going to know that's Shedeur Sanders.
You just made the list.
So to answer that question,
Oh,
this happens to me every weekend for travel sports.
Oh, you get pranked? Or you get cost money?
Yeah.
Losing deposits and stuff?
BTA.
Do you know, dude? Travel sports. Now look, our basketball organization is not crazy expensive. Like you can probably maxing out at about $400 or $500 a year.
Mhm.
But I'm talking about other sports that my kid may participate in was $1,000 off the bat,
Come on.
and it's just constant. And I hate fundraising, so we just don't do it.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. So very interesting. Yeah, I know that back in the day, what was y'all big go-to? Like, what was the thing that the parents would threaten to take away from y'all that would get y'all to start acting right? For me, when mom and dad said, "Hey, if you don't stop, no Super Nintendo," it was like, "Si, senor, I got you." What was that thing for y'all?
Probably Nintendo or Sega.
So I don't want to out them. There maybe if somebody, maybe I've been someone in my family that punched a hole through a door, and after that, I was just like, all right, we good. I didn't really act up after that.
Yeah, fair enough. I understand that.
Set the tone.
Set the tone early.
I want to know Tommy's answers. I need to hear what Rory tried to take away from Tommy.
so my punishments were in order. It was a whipping, then it was the Sega or PlayStation, and younger days it was the hot box because we all had the boxes in our room to watch the pay-per-view, so I couldn't watch any movies. That got removed, and the final straw was I had to either go trolling with my parent or grandpa, or go spend the whole summer plumbing with Rory. And if there's anything that made me want to go to school for the rest of my life, it was not to be Rory's helper.
I would pay to have that number one on your list happen again.
A whipping?
Have Rory whoop you. Like, we would do that for content purposes.
Nah, he dropped me in the living room one day with an uppercut to the ribs, and after that, it was
Yeah, all right.
Shout out Rory.
Yeah, shout out to Rory. LSU football fan question. I don't know the answer to this. From Billy. Billy from Lafayette wants to know, would you rather beat Florida by 50 or Alabama by 1? Look, I will say I would rather beat Alabama by 1 because I'm pretty confident that we could still beat Florida by 21. I ain't confident that we beat in Alabama, period. So I'll take any win against Alabama. So I will say the win against Alabama.
So at this point in my life, I'd rather not get trolled and I'd rather be the troller than the trollee. So I'm going Florida by 50. So I would never have to hear Tommy argue anything ever again. So look, Alabama wins a few and far between. So losing to them is not that big of an issue anymore. But having the upper hand on someone that talks just as much trash as me, that's an A+.
Yeah, fair enough.
I feel like Florida's typically a train wreck with their coaches and their shoe tosses. So I feel like
we beat them every year. Anyway.
We should be like, if we lose to Florida, I feel like that's terrible. If we lose to Alabama, dang, sucks. So if we beat Alabama by 1, that makes our season. If we beat Florida, it's just another win.
So speaking of Florida, you want to read who sent in that question?
Billy from Lafayette?
Yep. Sunday Billy.
Oh, okay. Now let's see.
considering
got-
Alabama isn't as good as Florida anymore. I'm going to take Alabama.
No.
They're not the same.
They're not the same. They're still better than
And
freaking
still
Florida.
looked all right.
Not this year.
Oh, bro, DJ Lagway.
All right, let's see. We got any questions in the chat we got to get to? I know we said we'd get them all.
Let's see if I can operate this. We'll go from bottom to top.
I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We were having a good time. We hope everybody is also having a good time. The NBA game is running time right now. The Rockets are beating the Warriors 78-49.
Warriors and the Rockets.
Did you
about to
give
have
you
to
a
get in the
fourth
key.
Mount
Oh, I
Rushmore? I didn't give it either.
Y'all have
I'ma
had
go with-
2
I'ma go
weeks for
with
this
my Uncle
question.
Tan. Yeah, I'm gonna go about. Everybody went with my Uncle Tan. I didn't realize he was that much of a G.
Yeah, I'll go that as well. I mean,
It's your
dude's a
uncle?
freaking world champion.
Tan, that's my Aunt Jenny's husband.
Come on.
They're both passed away. But
Come on, that's cool.
what sport has the best game 7 in sports?
Hockey
And this is
by a
from
mile.
Hockey.
Braden Wilson.
Hockey by a mile. And I don't like hockey, but like NHL games, like NBA game 7s, a lot of times are 20-point games, 30-point games. NHL game 7, it always comes down to the end. It's always in like sudden death overtime. It's always close. Hockey by a mile.
I'm not a baseball guy, but a baseball game 7 is it's just like a magical experience just to watch it. Like every pitch matters, and just people sitting on the edge of their seat the whole entire time. It's not the boring 3 hours of a baseball game. I feel like every single play is very, very important. in
Look at Sengun ripping Steph Curry, dude.
I'm right with Nick on there, and I'm kind of
That's good,
laughing
man.
at myself that I'm even answering Major League Baseball. But I remember back in the day, I don't know if it was specifically a game 7, but the Yankees were winning everything when the Diamondbacks had them.
That was
with,
game
Yeah.
7.
with
That
Matt
was- that was
Williams
awesome.
and who Gonzalez.
Yep, Luis Gonzalez
Yeah.
got the game winner.
That was awesome.
Look, the
Braves, Twins.
oh,
Yeah.
screw Kirby Puckett.
Jeez.
Jack Morris, get out of here with Jack
Yeah.
Morris. You were 70 years old and you're still an ace.
Probably the best sporting event that I've watched in the last 5 years was LSU and Wake Forest, and that was like a game 7. It was winner goes on, loser goes home. Tommy Tanks hits the home run in extra innings. LSU wins 2-0. So I could see the baseball side of that. That's a good answer. Bado?
I don't like baseball enough to go. I'm going to say just a game 7. If NBA Finals ever goes to a game 7, I think that's probably my favorite
Okay.
because
fair enough.
it means it was a good series that you don't really get too much these days. So
Let's see what we got else here in the chat.
Let's see. So Devin Staub says, who would have want to get their first and only NBA championship over the Bulls? Was it Barkley, Kemp, Peyton, Barkley, and John or Reggie? That's
Reggie Miller.
He was,
Reggie
ex-
Miller.
he was
Reggie Miller.
excited. Who was John?
Stockton, maybe.
John Stockton. Yeah, Mailman and John. Yeah.
Okay. I see what you did there.
Definitely Reggie.
Reggie Miller. I
Mark-
was a big
Markley.
Indiana Pacer mark. I
That's
remember the
Charles.
Memorial Day game where he made that big 3 to beat the Bulls and send it to game 7. He pushed the crap out of the defender and scored. Yeah, I was a Reggie Miller mark.
The Pacers versus the Knicks series back in the day, that was must see TV. And Reggie Miller is one of my favorite players ever. So yeah,
One of the
definitely
best
Reggie.
shooters in the history of the game. Did you see his? He was on some podcast with Steven Jackson.
Steven Jackson, yeah.
And like they just cried together. Like
Yeah.
Steven Jackson apologized for ruining his like the twilights of
Yeah.
his career and
The,
whatnot. And
Malice in the Palace year.
yeah, Reggie came on and said, "Look," he said, "I wasn't as good as I used to be back then." He said, "You guys made it." I thought that
Yeah,
was
that's really cool. That is really cool.
But to answer the question, I'm going Stockton and Malone. They wanted that. They were prime. They were good every single season. They had Jerry Sloan at that time was coaching them up, and Byron Russell was there. One of those two. You had Adam Keefe. You had who was the bigs on that?
Ulster tag.
Poster tag.
Some good teams, man.
So, Bado, before you answer, well, go ahead, Bado. You answer, and I'm going to ask the second part to the question.
Out of the choices that were given, I'd wanted to see Barkley win one. I think he deserved one, and it would give him one more talking point for all these years on TV instead of him just getting crapped on every damn time.
I think Nick agrees with me here, but I'm curious as what Damian and Tommy think. The 2 Jordan retirement years, the Bulls roster was a little bit in flux. I think the Rockets would have still beat the Bulls anyway. What do y'all think?
I don't know about that.
They were good.
They were good, dude.
Like, I
Elijah Wan
they
was a
were deep.
freaking dog.
They were good and they were deep, but when it gets down to it, when has Jordan ever lost a finals?
But they didn't-
can't-
that year that the Rockets won, they
but
lost
he
to
wasn't there.
Orlando.
What?
Yes, he was
Wait,
there.
Oh, that wasn't a finals. So they
They lost in the second round to
But if he
Orlando.
makes it to the finals, he's not losing. That's what I'm. If they would have ran into the Rockets, he's not losing the finals.
Okay.
He lost to the team that
He was sick.
the Rockets swept.
I don't know.
What?
Let me dig into my bag of Jordan excuses real quick.
Look in your little notebook, bro.
He had the
So,
measles.
The Bulls had 0 inside game. You trotted out Luca Longley, Bill Winnington,
Will Purdue.
all these cats, right?
No more Horace
Bill
Grant. He was in
Cartwright.
Orlando at this point.
So they couldn't stop Shaq. They would not have stopped Olajuwon. So that was always their kryptonite, having a big. And when the bigs kind of took over, that's when that dynasty was coming. to an end.
Kukoc and Rodman were not yet there. I think the Rockets would have kicked their ass. I'm not lying. I really think the Rockets would have beat them
That Magic Rocket series just
I loved it.
crushed me.
because Nick Anderson missed 7 free throws in a row, and then oh god,
Give me-
yeah.
I
Give
love
me
that
Maxwell,
Magic team.
Mario Ellie, Matt Bullard. Give me Ori, Olajuwon. Give me all of
Sam
them. guys.
Cassell.
The
Oh,
Jet,
Candace
brother.
Smith.
Yeah, the Jet.
I hated the
Um,
Rockets.
NBA Showdown 94 maybe for Sega. That team was unstoppable. The Rockets.
That's it would have been fun to see for sure. That's the one finals matchup
Mario
that we didn't
Ellie.
get a chance to see.
Mario Ellie was another stud.
Here we go, wrestling guys. Devin Side wants to know who had a better gimmick, the Repo Man or Brutus, the bleeping barber beefcake. Screw Brutus beefcake, Repo Man all day, every day.
How is
I'm-
this
I'm
a
partial to
question?
people, man. What was over better? Definitely Brutus the Beefcake, but personal favorite, Repo Man.
Repo Man.
He was terrible.
He was, but I love the gimmick. The dude was funny. He would steal stuff.
Brutus Beefcake cut people's hair.
Not funny.
With a
There's
garden
Plenty of
shear?
guys down here in cutoff, they cut hair.
There's
Not
plenty
funny.
of guys here that steal stuff.
True.
I think per capita, more people steal down to buy males than cut hair.
True.
100%.
Point
So
taken.
it's
But they
it's
don't wear
beef-
masks and like tippy toe around.
I don't know. I've been watching. You told me to watch that Facebook for that hardware company.
Bruh, every day they're
I
out
love,
with
I
somebody.
love that Facebook page.
Already
look,
got a
now
message.
it's
Hey,
gr-
already got a message from him. Thanks for that, Nick. That's great.
yeah.
Dude, what's crazy is like now, like they're on a crusade to stop all crime. They share every business's crime stuff now.
That's
You have to have Herb Magri on there or
Yeah. Oh
something,
no,
man.
no, we
That's
don't
a
have to do that.
good follow. If you don't know what we're talking about, go on Facebook and look up Sugarland,
Sugarland
Hardware, and like it, follow it, whatever you got to do. They post
need-
pictures and video of people stealing from their store and other people's store that they share. Man, there's some idiots in this area.
We need some
And we,
shirts
uh,
that say Sugarland Sheriffs.
I tagged Tommy, the law office of Tommy Botto, in one of their posts, and they're like, "Can we like sue or whatever for that?" And
Absolutely.
it's good stuff.
There's another good one. Jackson Dart's mom or Tyler Shook's mom.
Whoa.
I've
Shucks
never seen Tyler Shook's mom.
girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Shucks
No,
50. So that
I'm sorry.
Dart's mom and Shucks' girlfriend probably the same age.
Don't hate.
They're married.
Jackson Dart's. I don't remember Jackson Dart's mom.
We literally looked her up and we gave the Instagram in our
Hey,
live.
that's my quarterback.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Jackson Dart's mom. Oh yeah. I remember now. Yes. Jackson Dart's mom.
We can't have a side by side for the viewers so we can look at this.
No.
I thought we were up there.
You said community standards are trash.
They are.
So try not to.
Facebook was warning me. I didn't even say anything.
So he's married to the old lady, Thomas Shuck.
I believe so. And they
I
had
think
that
my
dog.
man Tyler Shucks a macro.
Shucks, I don't know. Shucks old lady's pretty nice too, but yeah, it's close.
It's my quarterback.
You ain't going wrong with either one. I'll tell you that.
So we do have a late edition question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the mom.
those are always scary.
No, it's not bad. From Jay Jay Trahan from French Settlement. We got a lot of awesome viewers. I got to let you guys know. We got a lot of faithful followers.
Sure do.
Best layup line song. Why is it Jeezy? Put on. Thank you. I'll hang up and listen.
Well, if you play We Ready, you're losing.
Yep.
True.
I always back in the day when I went to Golden Meadow Junior High, it was Tom Sawyer. I always was
That's a
partial
good
to
one.
that one. What say you, gentlemen?
So we're gonna go current. I'll give you one from back in the day. It was Shaq's or Onyx Slam. That was a big deal. Now, as a coach, we kind of rattle off through three. One of them's gonna be a little head
Chicken?
scratcher. No, we go through Welcome to the Jungle with the entrance from The Lion King.
Yes, yeah, okay.
which is
I've
pretty
heard
neat.
that before.
Ain't No Love in Oklahoma
Good.
is a good one here. And my girls team has fallen in love with Call Me Maybe. They get hyped on that.
Tommy.
So that's our
Huge fan of that.
Man,
I'm
that
like,
was.
that's what's up.
Okay, I know we got it. Hater number one right here. Hater number 2 right here, and hater number 3 inside that laptop over there. But Rock You Like a Hurricane, when you playing for the cutoff Houston and Rock You Like a Hurricane comes up, you will run through a wall. You will run through that green felt.
But y'all would
curtain on the
always run into the
stage.
losers bracket playing that song, though. So apparently, it wasn't very
Not
effective.
in my day, boy.
I
Me
think
and
I
Tommy
think
did,
the
huh?
only acceptable answers for this question are 2 Unlimited, Get Ready for This, which is the opening
Jock
song
Jams.
to Jock Jams, and it was everybody's warm-up song when we were young. And then ingrained in my memory from the magical 1998 state championship tour, Mystical, The Man Right Here is
Yeah, that's a good one
with
too.
the
Oh,
Smoke Machine. Oh, and then opening
Hell's
Hell's
Bells.
Bells
Yes.
with John Rishu and the smoke and the fog coming out of the hallway, and then it turns into gangster rap and
Was it,
nothing but
this-
white people in the tank going
This
crazy.
year for Salafouche, was it Brain Stew by Green Day? I really like that one.
Hey, shout
I
out!
don't remember. Yeah,
shout out back in the day, the people that actually played the music for us. Like you had to go through tapes and CDs to
kidding.
find these songs. So shout out you guys.
Yeah, there was no just like making a mix on your phone then. Yeah.
And I'm sure there was no Bluetooth to just put it from your phone.
That's a freaking production, man.
Yeah.
We used to have to bring Sony Walkmans and an aux cord when we were in high school and we played.
Shout
We had
out
to bring our own
80s
music.
DJs, bro.
And now you just hit play on Winamp.
Yeah.
Just
And
imagine
Really kicks the
before our
llama's
day.
ass.
In the 70s, the dude has a big record player, and he's and then like Queen or
back
Kiss comes on.
back when my Pran Perry was covering all the sports in the area.
Back when he was a young buck.
It was a young buck. That's not part of my Pran, by the way. That's a vicious rumor that y'all started. Any other questions in the chat?
That's it.
That's it. Okay,
Dunzo.
cool. Boys, do we I remember. Oh yeah, we ain't gonna go more than an hour. We're almost 2 hours in. That's how
Good,
it
but you
always
start at 5.
Yeah, yeah. It's not like midnight. That's always a good thing.
Matinee edition. Of
Any closing
chat.
thoughts? Any closing comments, boys? I'm looking forward to the weekend. I personally will be heading out to Lake Charles, covering some state softball championships. What y'all got going on this weekend?
Man, we are primed in travel basketball mode. So on the girls' side, our 4th grade team, Coach Trent Rupert bringing his squad out for their debut in travel basketball, most of them. My 6th grade team and then my 8th/9th grade team will be traveling out to Hammond to participate in the Shockers one-day event. Some really good teams out there. So we're anxious. We've been a rough practice last night because I was probably in a bad mood knowing the competition level was going to get up. I channeled my inner Coach Collie, just knowing that we're going to lose 4 games this weekend.
Nah, he wouldn't do anything like that.
And I know our older boys team is going to be not sure where they're playing. I know they're going to be in action. And then Coach Travis Terrebone's taking his 5th grade squad for their initial action this summer in Baton Rouge.
Nick, what you got this weekend, dude?
Work. Check me out. I'll probably be going live. DTV Clothing on TikTok. We got a end of season tournament for our local baseball league. So Silas is going to be. They got a bye in the first round. The big dogs out there, the Lions. Look for the Lions to go all the way in this little baseball league.
When does it end? Does it end on Sunday, perhaps?
Ends on Saturday.
Damn it. If it was ended on Sunday, I'd have went and caught that. I'm going to be in Lake Chuck still. What you got, Bado?
Like Chuck.
I'm
This
just going
is
to
late,
answer
and
this
apparently this is
question in the
short.
chat is pretty good. Better shoe, Pennies or Iversons? I think Penny
Pennies.
has probably the
Penny's the
second
GOAT.
best catalog of shoes behind Jordan ever, and it's a damn shame we only got 5 versions of it. But this weekend I am actually going to Dallas, aka really Allen, Texas. I'm going to the Dallas Card Show, so me and the greatest Baker Mayfield rookie collection will be flying there, and yeah, I'll be hopefully buying and selling a bunch of sports cards. So if anybody down to
What's
buy,
the magic number for somebody to buy your whole collection? What's the price they got to get to?
probably about $250,000.
Ooh,
That's why he's such a big Baker Mayfield fan.
damn. That's why he roots for Mayfield. He wants them cards to be
Man.
valuable.
Dude, you should. Whenever you want to go down a weird rabbit hole, just go price out like Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow and Pat Mahomes, all those kind. Well, even though Burrow never won one, yeah, it gets really crazy.
Damn.
I collected cards my whole childhood, and one night I put it on Craigslist. Everything I had, I sold everything I collected for about $150.
Dude, there's
Sure,
nothing
Apple
more
was so
crushing
busy.
than when I got into this. Everything that we collected is worth
Yeah,
peanuts.
nothing.
It is
Yeah.
ridiculous. Unless it's Michael
Same.
Jordan or Kobe Bryant, nothing we have is even
Saved all
Shaq.
my Beckett's. Saved all that stuff.
Dude,
It's-
I
worthless.
love like pulling out the random shoebox and just like grabbing a card and just seeing the random like Dave Corzine of the Seattle Supers, like who
Billy
the-
Ripken with the knob.
Well, no, that
Worthless.
card is worth a lot.
I
The
sold
error
it
card.
as part of my 1,000 card collection. For
Well, look, if anybody listening out there, you find cards at your grandparents' or your uncle's house in the attic, and they're pre 1986, get in touch with me. I'll gladly take them off your hands or point you in the right direction because that's besides this crap we're doing right now. That's pretty much my hobby.
All right, good deal. Hey, look, if you are wanting to start collecting like with current stuff, do you just like go buy a pack of cards at Walmart and get started? Like how do you get started?
rip open some packs, bro.
Okay, so without going down a full rabbit hole, yes, you can, but all the big money and things like that are going to be in what's called hobby boxes, not the stuff you could buy at Walmart or Target. So you'd have to probably go to a card shop or buy them online. And
All right.
just a disclaimer, all the stuff, like I know when we were young, I got boxes of cards for Christmas, and they were like $100, but that was the retail stuff. A hobby box of like good cards is going to cost you anywhere from like $500 to upwards to like $2,000. And those were where you hit, I'm trying like a Jaden Daniels rookie card. His best card right now is probably like 70, 80, maybe even $90,000.
Well,
But
what
you
are they
gotta-
putting?
Huh?
Like, what's in these cards? Are they putting like pieces of his?
Yeah,
jerseys?
like so. For instance, like the Baker that I have is like his actual NFL shield from his rookie jersey, and they cut that out and they put it in a card. So they put like pieces of the jersey. They'll have them sign cards, and it's really weird because like all the inserts and stuff, all the shiny stuff we used to go after, those are actually worth less now. Just it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, they got like numbered serial number cards, auto cards, and it gets really, it's pretty nuts. It blew up during COVID. People didn't have stuff to spend money on, and it's been nuts.
I
So-
had the whole entire NBA 90-91 NBA hoops in a binder, everything and all.
Oh yeah, dude, I still got all my stuff.
Worthless.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
the only,
Tom-
Yeah, they
the-
got the Menendez brothers card in there.
that's the Mark Jackson. Yeah, there's two of them
Yeah.
now. That somebody found a Jordan game where he's shooting and the Menendez brothers are in the back, but they traced that Mark Jackson card to apparently a game after they had killed the parents.
Oh,
So they were
they were
courtside.
already murders.
Correct. So I guess if you watched any of the lovely dramas, they went on a spending spree. They were courtside for a Knicks game, and yep. So that Mark Jackson card that was routinely probably worth 10 cents, like is now upwards of like $500 if you get it. And that's the thing now is you have to get them
What?
graded. Yeah.
Hey,
So
hey,
although
look.
all those Beckett's, when like Michael Jordan's rookie card was like 10 grand, no, that was like a perfect PSA 10 copy. All the
I
ones
remember
we had,
being-
if we even had one, they were probably screwed up, scratched, like they were probably only worth like 500.
Just a random story here. So Sean Bradley's rookie year, right? I was a big Sean Bradley. Any athletic freak, I'm all about it. Tommy and I had a crazy obsession over people with basketball players over 7'2". I had a Sean Bradley rookie card, and it was worth like $2.70, and I was like, bro, I'm loaded right now. But hey, shout out Bo's Card Shop for
Oh, that's my ink.
destroying.
Shout
all
out
my,
top,
my
top
bank
10.
Top 10.
I
That's
still
where I got a
remember
lot of my
top
stuff.
10 going, and I went one day and bought every single Mike Allstott rookie card they had in there. $35, and I thought I was broke and the king of the world. I think those cards now are worth 16 cents.
Hey, let me ask you this. You said you're going to go and looking to buy, maybe looking to sell. We already discussed the selling part. What are some things you're looking to add to your collection? Is there anything in particular, or is it just like shopping? And if you see something that catches your eye, you're going to pounce?
So I have a big problem with, like holding on to my stuff too much. Like, so obviously I'm pot invested in Baker. It pains me to sell some of his cards. So my new thing is I'm starting to buy Dylan Cruz. I'm starting to buy teams that I hate that way.
Hey, wait a minute. Where did Dylan Cruz go to school?
Listen to what I'm saying. I'm starting to buy LSU players and Duke players like Bancaro and stuff. That way, when they're hot and I need to sell them, I could just get rid of them and I don't give a shit.
That's a solid method.
Yeah, it is.
Because
It is.
when people are like, "Oh, I want to buy this Baker," and I'm like, "Oh, it's kind of like my fourth child. Like I can't get rid of it." But it's like, "Hey, how much did I Dylan Cruz?" I'm like, "Oh, $3,000. Okay, here you go," and in the transaction. So
Man, as a kid, in the back of the Beckett monthlies, there was the addresses to all the NBA teams, all the MLB teams. I used to send cards on like daily to all these teams to get back my I was part of the Steve Poison Avery fan club. Steve Avery,
Mhm.
Braves
Yeah,
pitcher,
Yeah.
autographs. I had like membership in his.
It's like they
in
would
his-
send some stuff back.
You
Yeah.
send them the card in a self-addressed stamped envelope, And a lot of times they will send it back. Sometimes they keep the card and you
Dude,
screw
And you put a little letter in there, just making
Yeah.
them feel bad.
Mr. Steve.
So,
you're my favorite.
funny
pitcher. Love the
funny
Braves.
story that you say that. I did the same thing, and so like I have signed cards from, we knew the
You do
gimmick.
this
It was
currently?
no. This is
Oh,
back
you
in the
never
day.
did
This is,
that?
this is the childhood one. So you couldn't send it to the top dogs. You had to kind of pick the media. So like I have signed cards. Like I have like 10 Nick Van Exels. I have Bob Sora. I have like I can't remember, just random guys. But I sent one to Corliss Williamson, right? And it was like his Flair Ultra or whatever rookie card. This SOB sends me back a generic Topps Hoop card, kept my card, and a flyer to join his fan club. Didn't even send me back my own card. Didn't even send back nothing signed. Said, if you want, you could join Corliss's crew. But I'm like, screw this dude. Like, I'm not hoping he doesn't play another. It was the worst thing ever.
So if you get screwed by an athlete in the card exchange, you better call Bado, right?
Yes. If you stumble upon some pre-1986 cards or some brand new ones, or you get screwed over for an autograph, better call Badeau.
So in
And,
that whole trading off cards for autograph situation, I ended up with my two top selections. I ended up with a David Robertson autograph and a Tom Glavine autograph.
Come on.
Dang,
Now
that's
where
some
that's at,
high profile.
no
guys.
clue where that's at.
Like what Tommy said, when you send it to like not maybe not the stars of the team, because I'm sure they're getting stacks and stacks and stacks of mail. You send it to
Steve
somebody who's-
Blake.
right? They're gonna be like, oh shit, I got mail, and they're gonna sign it and send it back quick.
So that was kind of like the cameo of the day back in the like when you
Right.
wanted kind of
Yep.
sorta.
Yep.
Okay, fair enough. We're gonna have to get some cameos. I'm gonna invest a couple $100 in cameos to get people to shout out our podcast.
Is that a thing? I feel like they don't do the businesses.
Oh, so they don't let you like, hey Hacksaw, say you listen to the group chat. Yeah, that probably is.
Hey, Hacksaw.
we could probably pay to do like $200. Maybe.
Hacksaw,
all-
can you send a message to my friend of the group chat?
Yeah, just listen. Don't say the podcast. Just give a shout out to the group chat.
Yeah,
Ho!
that might be the
I
thing.
love the group chat.
I'm gonna buy that. Let's select a random person.
Dude, we had the guy from the league do our fantasy football one, and then we had Lisa Ann. They'll say anything.
Hey, you know what? Shout out Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition while we're looking this up. Not only did they get Haley Van Lith, they also got Cameron Brink.
Hey,
Shout out, bro. Speaking my language, Kenny. Can we get Kenny G?
Look, see, Brad's in the chat. Dude sold a car for 22 grand. What kind of car was it? Must have been a Paul Skeens, I guess.
Pick one,
just type WWE in here, and it's gonna everything that we would ever have wanted.
Hornswoggle's gonna come up. Vince McMahon.
Fuck
I
up
bet Heath
Harry.
Schuler. I bet Heath Schuler and Ryan Leaf are on there.
A John Cena lookalike charges $35.
My empty chair.
Oh, you can't see him. Okay, that actually is pretty cool.
So let's do this.
The
Let's
great
filter
colleague.
down under $25
Yeah, it was-
and see who Gilbert.
Look at how
Did y'all
terrible
really talk to
Gilbert looks. We talked to Ellsworth.
Ellsworth is he made an appearance on something the other day. I saw he popped up on Twitter.
Bill DeMott,
Bill DeMott, yeah.
aka Humorous.
How about the Fabulous Freebirds? They're still wrestling. You know they cameoing.
Who are these people? I don't even know who have these people. These are some indie folks, most of them that we're looking at. Gilbert would be solid.
We're at the bottom of the totem pole, so we went under $25.
A sock puppet is on
Who's
there.
the
That's-
sock that's dressed like Kiss?
Oh, Alberto Del Rio's ring announcer,
He was
Ricardo
good.
Rodriguez.
Oh, Zach Gowen, the one-leg guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to figure out a way to get them to shout us out.
Doesn't the dude from Swamp People? Isn't he a wrestler? What was his name?
ZZ?
Yeah.
You get ZZ. Seth,
Seth-
a Seth Rollins dude in a Seth Rollins mask is charging
Alright,
$10.
Let's go mid-range.
Yeah, like $50. I feel like we could get some guys that would maybe like go to Morgan City.
The Great Khali is the first one.
Tori Wilson,
Tori Wilson's only
Who's
50.
Mr.
Oh, 75.
Stone?
Stone Man,
Lillian Garcia.
Lillian Garcia.
What?
You rent yourself out for $60, Lillian. Come on. Sean Mooney. That's a buy.
Shut up, Mooney.
That's a buy. What about Joe?
Joe Henning. Okay.
I feel like
Is,
taking
um,
it-
Oh, dude. I'll pay for
Joe
that.
Hendry.
How much?
$150.
No, he's going to be
After the
200.
WrestleMania appearance, I'm going 275.
200.
He's up there.
And if you have not seen Joe Hendry sing Creed, you're missing out.
156.
I told y'all. I told y'all.
Available for 24-hour delivery. I mean, we could have this
Jeez.
tomorrow.
Like, dude, he's a TNA guy. Like, he only works 1 day a week. Like,
He'll
yeah,
send
he-
a pep talk and roast some. Oh, promote a business, dude. Sign him up.
Oh yeah,
dude. Oh yeah, we got to put our nickels together and we got to make that happen.
Oh yeah.
We-
Look, I still have not done anything with that $100 that Brad gave me. Sounds like Joe Hendry's getting it.
I believe in the
Joe
group
Hendry
chat.
at Performance Auto.
Can you? I believe in the group chat. That is gonna.
Yes, that's gonna be lit. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
We'll work on that.
Yeah. So by the time we probably next air, we're gonna have some cameo stuff. Boys, pleasure as always. Tommy, was glad we were able to get you on here on the back end. The fellas already said what's going on this weekend. Thanks to everybody for listening. Every time I logged onto my iPad, there was people watching us on Facebook or whatever it may be. We had great comments as always on all of our platforms. We're going to try to get into a routine of doing these every Wednesday. That's kind of a night that works for all of us. Summertime's coming. Our schedules are clearing out a little bit. So we're going to try to do these every Wednesday. Might be some variants here and there. But thanks for listening, watching, whatever, however you got the group chat. For Nick and Damian and Tommy, this is Casey signing off. You guys have a wonderful rest of the week. Y'all take care and God bless.
Nick, you want to hand